Mature content. The following stream contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences, including mature themes, strong language, and potentially sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, babe. How are you?
Hi, honey. I'm good.
For those new to the channel, this is my wonderful wife, Shannon. Her channel is Mindful Crime Couture, and she is working on finishing the video for her Wendi Adelson book review, right, babe?
Yeah, I mean, if it was Stranger Things, like, it's taken that long. Because I think my last video, installment number 2, was a year ago. But yeah, I'm gonna do one last installment,
Well, we both
and I've read it. I've finished the book, so I just need to do the video.
took a little break. Hers longer than mine, but we're back. And just to start off, today is Monday, Labor Day. So we're not actually, there was some confusion on Twitter. This is not like live right now. We are catching up on some testimony, a rewatch of what has already gone on. We're going to start with Rob Adelson. Thank you, Sinead, so much for the super chat. And I got a couple of Venmos already. Karen and, let me see. Karen and Betty, I believe. Thank you so much. I did want to do something I haven't been able to do in a while, and it's happened within like 24 hours of me going live again. Babe, do you know what that is?
Something you haven't been able to do for a while?
Yeah, a segment we used to do on the channel. Well, we are, Paul, we are live, but we're not watching
your fan mail?
Fan mail. It's time for some fan mail, folks.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
For folks who don't know about fan mail, it's when I go over some of the comments I get, like this one, that I am a sanctimonious cunt. She made a mistake. Let the court handle it. I have some serious little dick energy. So let's go to, where is the first one that I have? I'm currently fighting with someone on Twitter about how Wendi they're fully convinced that Wendi has immunity and can't be charged, which just couldn't be more wrong. But that's not the fan mail. That's just happened. All right, here's the fan mail. Let's go over to here. So someone responded to my video where I talked about taking the pictures down and how that was like more evidence against Wendi, how she took down pictures. Jeff testified that she took down pictures. And Alma here says, so because she took them down automatically means she's conspired to kill Dan. Wow, I'm glad you aren't on the jury. To which I responded, actually, I am on the jury. Actually, I am. I post these videos when we're done for the day. And now she said, good. Now this is being forwarded to the court. And I hope you know that what you just said is a felony and you can be prosecuted. And then she continually followed up with that. Your comment is being looked at by the court now. So T's and P's for the whoever handles the email at Leon County Court, that they're gonna be like, who is this guy from New York in this video who is very clearly not in the jury? But anyway, so if I'm in jail, that's why. Hopefully, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for some grand pianos in case I have to, get some I have to bribe some people.
Bribe anyone?
Bribe anyone. And here's another piece of fan mail I got, which is, why is there a mute option for this guy, Jay? Someone who is on Jay's channel watching Jay's trial review of the trial. This guy wants a mute option. So Philip, you're on my channel, you idiot. Go to Glow and Crime if you don't want commentary, you dopey moron. Any hoozle. There was one other thing I wanted to go over, just real quick. This is not fan mail, but just give me a second. We're going to start the rewatch. I wanted to go to, and I think Jan is here. Jan
Yes.
had posted this. Her son has been battling leukemia, NASH, and all he wants to do is meet John Cena in Indy. Can we make it happen? So I'm just putting this out there. I don't know if there's anyone who knows anyone, or at the very least, if you can go on Twitter, retweet this, at John Cena, at people, and maybe we can help out Nash so that he can meet John Cena. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because Jan has been an amazing supporter since the very beginning, and I saw that and just wanted to promote that. All right. So let me just...
Oh, before you start,
and literally, Jan just sent a $25 Venmo. That love you too, both wonderful to be here. Go ahead, babe.
Before we start, my earrings today are in homage to hopefully Wendy's arrest from Austin, Texas.
Nice, babe. But she can't be prosecuted according to these people on Twitter. Kathy was sent a $20 Venmo. Thank you so much, Kathy. Karen, 15, and Betty Churchill was $5. Thank you so much. And Lakota. All right, sorry. So here we go. Now, babe, what could you believe when all of a sudden they say Rob Adelson is going to testify? He has been listed as a witness in all the trials, and then this is the trial. Go ahead.
Well, okay, so I was gone. I was in Kansas, right? And you were here. And
yeah, that's right.
We actually had just been, basically all Jay and I talk about are the Adelsons and Big Brother. And so we had been talking about Big Brother, and you just sent me a text message that said Rob in all caps. And I was like, what does Boston Rob have to do with this? And then you were like, you sent like a lot of exclamation points. And then I was like, oh my God, Rob. And so then I asked you and you were like, yes. So then I had to put it on. I was like in the car with my mom or something, but of course I had to put it on my phone and try to watch.
So again, for folks who don't know, Rob Adelson, the Adelson who got away, the Adelson who Donna tried her damnedest to break up his marriage. He ended up getting divorced and getting back to his true love, which Donna didn't want him to be with because she wasn't Jewish. We had been waiting and waiting. I kept thinking, like, when is he going to testify? And now he is testifying. And first, let's check out Wendi as she walks out and gives Harv a little hug. I think I have that queued up here. Oh.
All right. This next witness will be whom this afternoon?
Robert Adelson.
All right. You can bring the jurors back in.
A little kiss. This is the last time I'm going to see you. By her handlers escorting her out.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so could I go ahead and call him in?
One moment. Don't bring the jurors in just yet. You can bring in Mr. Adelson.
By the way, he was brought in a different way. So my source in the courthouse said he was brought in a different way as to not have to go past Donna and Harv. And also, just remember how Donna was beaming when Wendi came in, and her difference in demeanor now that Rob is testifying. I saw that, Aura. Oh, we got a member. To Solemn, welcome to the Super Bowls. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here. Good morning.
Before you testify this afternoon, I just wanted to make sure the court's prior ruling on this matter you understood and you were clear on. When you're testifying, you are not to testify about any opinions that you have concerning whether your family members or your mother may have committed a crime. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Does the defense or state wish for there to be any further instruction from the court that does not otherwise cover the substance of the ruling?
No, sir. No, sir.
Please bring the jurors. Yep.
No emotion there. No. She was worried about it, too. I forget where I saw that.
For everyone in the gallery, again, as you are watching the evidence and testimony, please remain quiet. If you need to speak with each other, please do so silently or step out in the hallway. There should not be any murmuring happening whatsoever as the witnesses are testifying. Please bring them in.
I would say she actually looks like she's pretty angry there. By the way, if you missed my live yesterday, my friend, my source in the court, said that this one is like constantly rubbing her back, Donna's back, and it's like the people in the gallery like, but Judge Everett doesn't see it, but she's like just constantly physically comforting Donna. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. Why am I waiting for
Have
this?
you sworn?
I swear.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone as need be. Ms. Dugan, you may examine.
Thank you. Could you tell us your name and spell your name for our court reporter, please?
Sure. Robert Todd Adelson, Adelson.
Thank you. And what state do you currently live in?
New York.
And how long have you lived in New York?
13 years.
Okay, so since maybe 2012?
Yes.
All right. What do you do for a living in New York?
I'm an ENT.
Okay, so you're a nose and throat doctor?
Yes.
And how long have you worked as an ENT?
For 20 years.
How do you know the defendant in this case, Donna Adelson?
She's my mother.
And Harvey Adelson's your dad?
Yes.
Wendy and Charlie Adelson are your siblings?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
In Coral Springs, Florida.
Is that a bit north of Miami?
Yep.
About how long of a drive?
About an hour north of Miami.
Okay. When y'all were growing up, did you all, the five of you, live in the same house as a family?
Yes.
And who's the oldest child?
I am.
Okay. Who's the middle child?
Charlie.
How many years between you and Charlie?
3 years between Charlie and I.
And then who's the youngest then is Wendi?
Yes.
And how many years between Charlie and Wendi?
3 years.
Okay. When you were 18, did you move out of the Coral Springs house?
Yes, when I went to college.
Okay. And did you go to college at University of Florida?
I went to Tulane.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Did you live in Gainesville at some point?
I did, yes.
Okay, thank you. So after you went to college at Tulane and then went on to med school, went on to residency, throughout those years, did you continue to talk to your parents and your siblings on a regular basis?
Yes.
And would you see them a couple of times a year?
Yes.
When you were in school, would you go home for the summer?
Yes.
Based on your personal observations throughout your life of your parents and of your siblings, who is the leader in the family? Who tends to run the show?
I think my mom.
Okay, so Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
A more assertive.
What about your dad, Harvey Adelson? What's his personality like?
I think he's more passive, more go with the flow.
Okay. So they're kind of opposites in that way a bit?
Yeah.
When you and your siblings were growing up, was Donna Adelson a very involved parent?
Yes.
And when I say involved, as far as with your life and with your friends and with school and with that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Did she have certain fixed ideas throughout your life of certain things she wanted to happen in you and your siblings' life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it acceptable if you decided to not do those certain things that she was fixated she wanted you to do? Was that acceptable to her or no?
No. I think she had certain sort of rigid, fixed ideas or impressions for what she wanted for us, and if you went along with that, things were fine. If you didn't, things were not fine.
Did she have strong opinions?
By the way, speaking of that, my lovely wife here on her channel, Mindful Crime Couture, has an entire video about the enmeshment of the Adelsons and what that is like, which is what he is talking about. Also, she has a video about Wendy's yearbook, which someone posted on Twitter that Donna called Wendi her sunshine in her yearbook. And I was like, oh, babe, did you see this? And then she was like, I did a whole video on that. And I was like, oh, shit, you did. That's right. So anyway, Mindful Crime Couture. Babe has great videos, I promise you, and one specifically on the dynamics of the Adelsons. And Babe, would you want to just give a quick kind of how you feel that is, how it was for Rob? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, Rob plays the scapegoat role. He Everything that's wrong is Rob. And then that role can be transferred around, and it typically transfers to people who, won't play along, but also it typically transfers to in-laws. And so Rob and his wife are definitely the scapegoats in this family, and Dan was the scapegoat as well for them to blame all of their problems on. They have no boundaries, as you can tell, because Wendy's sex life is something that Charlie and, Donna are just chit-chatting about, and there's zero boundaries. There's the constant need to basically please the most dysfunctional members of the family. And so, Wendy's kind of the golden child, and Charlie is the useful one. And so, yeah, I have a whole video about the enmeshment. Now, a lot of people are like, I think Wendy's a narcissist, et cetera. And so I kind of go over that, but I actually think that Donna is the narcissist. But of course, I can't diagnose anyone that I haven't, met and treated. But I do see a lot of narcissistic tendencies in Donna. As far as narcissism, when I refer to it today, I'm talking about the personality disorder, not just the personality traits of narcissism. Everybody has a little bit of narcissism. So I think that she is actually the narcissist, and Wendi is her supply of her attention. Her, she was kind of living vicariously through Wendi, and so, yeah, I know a lot of people think that all of them are narcissists, and I don't know. I go over it in the video, so
check it out. Thank you, Melissa, so much for the $25 Venmo, Melissa D. All right, here we go. Sorry, there we go.
About who you all married and what you all did for a living and those types of things.
Yes.
And you're obviously a doctor. Was that an acceptable profession to her?
Yeah, that was okay.
Okay. And was that one of the reasons you became a doctor?
Yes.
Okay. How involved was Donna in yours, Charlie, and Wendi Adelson's life after you grew up, became adults, and had kids of your own?
I think still involved.
Was she more involved with your life, Charlie's life, or Wendy's life, would you say?
Probably more involved with Wendi and probably to a lesser degree with Charlie.
Okay. And then would you be she's the least involved with your life out of the three?
Yeah, probably because I was older, but sure, I agree.
Okay, so you're the oldest child. You're out of the house before the other two?
Yep.
Okay, and then you also lived other places after you went to college throughout the rest of your life?
Yes.
Now, was this like a healthy level of involvement that she had with the three of your lives, or was it more of like a micromanaging as you saw it?
I think it was certainly between over-involved and controlling. It probably lended itself more toward controlling, but there's in various realms, more or less. But I think certainly that was the tension.
Okay, so a little more on the controlling side.
Yes.
And does that include your personal lives as far as your relationships and in your professions, your jobs?
Yes.
Was it Charlie who always needed more attention than the other two children?
I think so, yes.
When did Wendy's life start becoming one that she needed to pay or give more attention to?
I think when she had some troubles in her marriage, I wasn't aware there were any troubles in her marriage until Wendi left. But I think around that time when she had two young children, I think that was when she became more involved. And I was, at that point living, pretty good distance away.
Okay. Were you living in Philadelphia at the time?
Yeah, but first in Philly and then in New York where we live now.
Okay. And so Charlie always got a lot of attention, and then Donna also started giving her attention also to Wendy's life once Wendi starts going through the separation or divorce.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. from your interactions with Donna Adelson through your whole life growing up and even as an adult, would you describe her as someone who's mentally sharp, thinking about things from all angles, or is she someone who's a little more gullible? Yes, sir.
Fulford, again, just waking up from her sleeping pill. That for folks who missed the first live, Donna's attorney on one day accidentally took a sleeping pill instead of a vitamin, and they had to start a little bit late because the Adelsons only hire the finest of the finest defense attorneys. Former judges who have been removed from the bench, who accidentally take sleeping pills and dress like David Byrne from the Talking Heads. Right,
her fashion is like very, very intriguing to me, and I do want to do a little bit of a research on that. I gotta see. Is this like a thing that she's done forever? Like, I don't know.
and my wife Shannon is also on Twitter and YouTube, but she's Shannon shaming on Twitter. She posts trial updates on all different trials. Jan here asked, Jay and Shannon, do you think Donna will testify? I 1000% think she will testify, even if her defense doesn't want to. Just like Charlie, she thinks she's going to give him the old. She's going to have her little sweater on and her little glasses, and she's just going to show them she's just a caring mom. It's going a little bit. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, she absolutely will testify. I think she believes even more so than Charlie that she is smarter than the jury. She is, going to charm them. They're going to think of her as the best mom by the time she's done.
Exactly. Oh, I thought they were back.
Dependent on each other or pretty independent? Were Charlie and Donna Adelson dependent on each other or pretty independent from each other?
I would say Charlie was probably somewhat dependent on my mom to help him out with organizing stuff, his dental practice. I think he probably relied on her a lot.
Okay. And you mentioned the dental practice. When you were growing up, who owned the dental practice?
My dad.
Okay. And throughout your life, was Donna Adelson in charge of the money at Adelson Institute?
I wouldn't know the inside workings of it, but I always remember my mom signing the checks and writing the checkbook at the table, when I was back in middle school or high school. So.
Okay. So even back then, she would do some bookkeeping or payroll type things at home.
That's my memory of it.
Okay. And then did the dental practice, you said it obviously started out at Harvey's. Do you remember a time when Charlie Adelson took over?
I remember my dad making a joke about him having a very understanding boss because Charlie was now his boss. So.
Do not testify to what others have stated out of court. You may testify as to your knowledge, but not what someone else specifically said. The objection is sustained. You may continue.
I understand you were telling us how you remember that, but can you just tell us around what year do you remember that happening?
Around 2012, Charlie purchased the practice.
Okay, and then was there a time that you remember Charlie somehow selling it back to Harvey Adelson as then becoming the head of the practice again?
I will permit you to answer the question if you have knowledge of this matter.
My memory of that was sometime in fall to winter of 2015 to 16, somewhere right around there. That's my memory.
Okay, so fall to winter of 2015.
Turning into 2016. That's my memory.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Donna Adelson doing payroll at Adelson Institute throughout your life. if someone were to ask Donna Adelson, or if someone asked Donna Adelson to do something, is she the type of person that just snaps to it, or does she have some questions first?
Overall, this is not going to motion. You may answer the question.
No, I don't think she would just snap to and do what someone told her to.
Okay. Is she the type of person who's going to have some questions if you ask her to do something?
Yes, I think she would definitely have some questions.
Okay. How did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markel when he and Wendi first got together and were headed towards marriage?
He was very positive about him.
Okay, so he was somebody she approved of.
Yes.
All right, and how did that change as Wendi and Danny's relationship soured? They ended up moving towards divorce.
So I really only heard anything bad about Danny after Wendi moved out. I didn't hear anything bad about him prior to that date.
Okay, so just kind of went from everything's fine to then hearing bad things about him.
Yes.
And when you say hearing bad things about him, like from her? From Donna Adelson, I'm
yes.
sorry? Okay. And how did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markel in 2014?
I mean, she hated him.
Would this come from, your knowledge of that come from things that she would say to you?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Did you observe that Wendi played a bit of a damsel in distress, in your opinion, in the divorce?
Yes, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendi Adelson and Dan Markel's divorce?
I apologize. Did Donna Adelson? I apologize. Can I hear the question again?
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendi and Dan Markel's divorce?
Some. I mean, the phrase that sticks in my head is that Danny was depoing Wendi to death. I wasn't involved with, all the various motions. I remember that phrase. I remember there being a lot of, court motions back and forth. But I remember that phrase. I remember, some complaints about like very long either mediation or depositions that Wendi had to endure.
Okay, so this is Donna saying Wendy's having to go through these things.
Yes.
Okay, and just telling you about it.
Yes.
How did Donna tell you that, or did she tell you that how Wendi was planning to leave Dan Markel and give him the news that she was leaving the marriage?
By the way, just real quick, this is new information that's about to come in. New information we had not heard before. Damning evidence, in my opinion. Go ahead.
This actually, bolsters what Dan wrote in his pleadings about the way that they carried out this plan to leave him, to, cause the most emotional impact and devastation. He describes that in his pleadings. And so I think this bolsters that.
Right. And again, this is just like the murder, this is the Adelsons. I'll play it first. Let me play it.
I think you're going to need to rephrase this in such a way the witness can answer, Ms. Dugan.
How did Donna Adelson describe to you how Wendi Adelson left the marriage?
Object to hearsay.
Ms. Dugan, please approach.
Okay.
And if you've ever been involved in a relationship with an enmeshed family or a family that's like this, they'll take one point, and then they all got to chat about it. They have to, like Donna would contact Charlie or Rob, or all the family members, family friends, and just keep talking about the same things over and over and over. It's like a little cult that they have is what it's like. And luckily Rob was able to escape that.
What did Donna Adelson tell you about the plan for Wendi Adelson to leave the marriage?
Sure. When she told me that that she had been in Tallahassee for several months.
This is Donna Adelson, had
Yes.
been?
that she had been in Tallahassee for several months, renting a new place for Wendi, arranging for movers, moving money around, and getting things set up. I only knew this after Wendi had moved out, but she was relating to me what had occurred over the summer. And so I heard this all at once, but probably 5-6 days after Wendi had moved out, and then told me that the somewhat gleefully or pleased that they timed the phone call to Danny right before he was supposed to give a speech at the meeting he was at.
Okay, so a couple questions about that. You said Donna said that she had been up here in Tallahassee moving the money around and getting things ready for Wendi. Do you mean for when Wendi moved out and needed a place of her own?
Yes.
Okay. And what did Donna tell you that she did to try to, I guess, hide the fact that they were renting a place for Wendi?
I remember her saying she had used her maiden name so there wouldn't be an Adelson up here renting, or hiring movers or such.
Just so like word of mouth wouldn't get around that Wendi Adelson was renting an apartment, something like that.
Sure.
Okay. So they used Donna's maiden name.
Yes.
Donna did. And then you said that their plan was for Wendi to call Dan Markel as he was getting on stage, or right before he got on stage, to give a speech at a conference?
That's what I was told.
Okay. And what was Donna's demeanor when she was describing this plan to you about how she was able to set up this place for Wendi to live in, everything was ready for her, and then this is how she gave Dan the news?
I think she sounded...
Donna is the one that gave the news? If not, then we
I believe the question was, what was her demeanor? You may
Yes, sir.
answer the question.
She sounded pleased to me.
Did you ever see Donna Adelson doing anything to help Wendi Adelson with the divorce?
I think she was, answering a lot of emails and looking over, emails that went back and forth.
What's up, babe?
You want to take me off so I can get Prudence?
It's fine. I just mute your mic. We're about to get an Amazon delivery, and our dog is about to go insane.
Oh, okay.
So that's all it is.
Forth, looking over motions and such.
Did you personally see that when she was visiting you? Did you see Donna Adelson doing those things?
Yes.
Okay. Was there an occasion when you all were in the hospital and Donna came to visit and was doing those things in the hospital?
I think it was at our home at the time, right before he went to the hospital. But yes, that's where we saw the email.
Okay. And while she was at your house during that time, was that when you were living in Philadelphia?
That was in Albany.
Albany, okay. Did she want the Wi-Fi at that time so that she could get on the internet and work on these filings?
Yeah, she said she had things to do to help out with the divorce.
Wait, was that all they discussed about what? I don't think they didn't really flesh out what happened there, at least for people who may not know. Dan has flown to New York. Prudence! Dan has flown to New York for a conference. He's about to give a speech, and that's what Rob is talking about. Donna is like, to get maximum impact, Donna is like, telling Wendi, call Dan now and tell him you're leaving. And he had no idea. He was blindsided. They took all the stuff from the house and moved it to another house while he was away, left the divorce paperwork on the bed. And as Rob said here, because Donna was trying to get maximum impact on Dan. And by the way, does that all sound familiar? That Donna is renting a house. She's setting all these plans in motion. Like, it's almost like it was like a setup. Like, this is exactly what they did for the murder. They had it all planned out. Like, they did it for the divorce just to get him out of the house. And that's exactly what they did for the murder. Babe, did you want to add anything to that? No? Okay.
What date would that have been? Do you remember?
October of 12.
Did Donna Adelson tell you that Wendi Adelson was trying to get permission to relocate to Miami?
Yes.
And did Donna Adelson tell you about the $1 million bribe she wanted to offer Dan Markel?
Yes.
During the year or two after Wendi Adelson left Dan Markel, how much time was Donna Adelson spending in Tallahassee?
From
Jeff he had personal knowledge of her being here.
You may answer as to your personal knowledge on the subject matter.
I can rephrase, Judge. Did Donna Adelson tell you information about how much time she was having to spend in Tallahassee?
she said that Wendi needed a lot of help because now she has 2 boys on her own, and so she was up there a lot. And I think yes.
Okay. Who cared more about Wendi Adelson's divorce from your conversations? Was it Donna or Charlie?
Donna.
What types of things does Charlie care about? What are kinds of things is he really into?
I mean, like go-karts, jet skis, going out, boats. Not Wendy's divorce.
Boats and hoes. Boats and
And
hoes.
is Donna Adelson very into her kids and grandkids and
Yes.
their success?
Yes.
Do you think Wendy's divorce or her moving, I guess, do you think Wendi and her boys moving to Miami was particularly important to Charlie Adelson from your observations?
I don't think so.
During the divorce, from your conversations with Donna, was she fixated on Wendi taking this job with a guy named Gary Cohen in Miami?
Yes, that was a common discussion point.
Okay. Did she seem like it was just something that she kind of thought would be a good idea, or something that she seemed to have a real obsession with?
It came up a lot in my discussions with her about this job with Gary, where she'd be making $1 million a year and she'd be a partner, and it was something that was brought up a lot, that she'd be able to take care of her kids in a way that she couldn't up in Tallahassee, and then it was probably the one thing that she mentioned to me. The only time I heard any anger after the murder had occurred was that I asked, is Wendi going to go work for Gary now? And she told me that.
Did the job end up not working out?
As far as I know, it didn't.
Okay, and that you heard some anger from Donna when that happened?
She said that his partners wouldn't let them hire her until they.
Okay.
Sorry.
But there was some anger there because the job didn't end up working out.
Yes.
They couldn't hire Wendi, or didn't want to hire Wendi after all.
That's what I was told.
Okay, thank you. Now, during the summer of 2014, did Wendi Adelson, I'm going to move on to 2014 now, did Wendi Adelson send you a text where she referenced having a boyfriend?
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Major new info about Wendi coming in here. Major. Like, when I heard this, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, holy shit.
Did Wendi Adelson send you a text where she referenced having a boyfriend?
Yes.
And was this before Dan Markel's murder?
Yes.
Why was that memorable to you?
It was just unusual. Wendi, never was someone who would, share her, romantic life or boyfriends, or, tell me or, text me about anyone she was dating. So it just stood out as, unique or different.
Okay. What did she? Was there something in particular that she said that struck you as also unusual?
Objection, hearsay.
Okay. I guess was it your impression that your parents knew about this boyfriend at the time, or no?
No. The text said, "Don't tell the parents."
Well,
Sustained. Members of the jury, you are to disregard the last response of the witness.
may I
Take it
approach
right out of your brain. You didn't hear that. By the way, babe, what is your theory on why she would text Rob, "This is my boyfriend," but say that the Donna and Harv don't know about him, despite that not being true?
It's another person besides Jane McPherson who could bring Jeff up as a suspect. She knows that Rob is honest. She knows that Rob will tell everything that he knows. And he, of course, would be like, "Oh, my sister's dating someone that no one knows about." and he thinks he's the only one with the information. So he thinks he needs to like divulge it if he thinks he's the only one with the information.
You may continue your examination, Ms. Dugan.
Okay, so I was asking you about this text that you received from Wendi Adelson. Can you tell me about this text?
Sure. She texted me that she was going to Gainesville for the weekend, and this was 2014. So I last lived in Gainesville about 3 years prior to that. I mentioned that she wanted that. I mentioned the name of Jeff. I asked who was Jeff. The response was my boyfriend. I responded I didn't know, and she said you wouldn't. I didn't hear it from the parents. She says they don't know. And so it just struck me as, and then she sent me some pictures of Jeff with her and the boys. It struck me as unique because she'd never shared the name or photograph of a boyfriend before.
Okay, so
This is insane information. Wendi has never shared any information about her boyfriends with Rob, but she is texting pictures of Jeff to him so he knows what he looks like. Like, this is so insane. And for people who keep like sending messages like, they're not going for Wendi, they got nothing. Why do you think they're introducing this? Do you think this helps with Donna's case? I mean, maybe there's other stuff, but this specifically, she's diabolical. This is planned on her part. Don't get out of my face. A lot of people, well, I think she maybe didn't know about it, but maybe she... No! This is it. This is just another piece where she is setting Jeff up.
Continue, members of the jury. As to the last question and response, you are not to consider the hearsay statement for the truth of the matter asserted. You may continue.
okay. So it was unusual for her to talk to you about boyfriends at all.
Yes.
But you also felt it was unusual that she's telling you about this boyfriend when even your parents don't know about him yet.
Right.
And she was closer to her parents at the time than you.
Correct.
Okay. What date was that text message sent?
The very end of June, like 26 or 28 of 14. But
June 26 or 28 of 14. Dan Markel was murdered on July 18th. I mean...
that last weekend.
Okay, so it was prior to 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
prior to when they're going to the Harvest birthday to finalize the plans. And actually, before the first trip. That's the first trip. June 4th. Oh, no. June 4th is the first trip. I'm sorry. It's in between. My mistake. June 4th, first trip. July 18th when it happens. Right before that.
Remember where in those photographs Wendi is with her sons and Jeff?
Like Wakulla Springs, something like that.
Okay.
They were in front of a board that said that.
And did you let her know you wouldn't mention him to her parents or to your parents?
Yes.
Did that strike you as so unusual that after Dan Markel was murdered, you felt, I guess, compelled to tell police, like, hey, I heard she has this boyfriend she hasn't told anybody about named Jeff?
Yes, I did. The FBI came to my house and I spoke to them once, and either it didn't come up or, it's a bit nerve-wracking talking to the FBI, and that they didn't ask any questions about that. And then, I guess over the ensuing week, I'd heard about like this Prius and this unsolved murder. And I remembered, it struck me as odd that I was sent these photographs of a boyfriend and not to tell the parents about him. And so that's when I wanted to have a clean conscience. So I reached out to the FBI and I said, I don't know if this matters, but I figured I would, tell you about this. And they
The only one of the Adelsons who wants a clean conscience and wants to tell the truth.
Well, and the other thing is, I think they're trying to, without putting the picture in, she's saying, like, where were they? They were standing in front of this board, him and the kids and her. So, like, they're standing in front of, like, a sign with, I believe, Jeff's car. Because then he says he hears about the Prius and he thinks it's weird because he sees that they have a similar car to what they end up renting.
Diabolical. Diabolical.
They came back
Just like-
for a second.
Go ahead, babe. Sorry.
Just like her having laryngitis that whole week, so she couldn't speak to Dan the week he was murdered. I mean, there's just so many things of where she is clearly like mastermind of her plausible deniability.
Interview and looked at the pictures.
Okay. When is your father, Harvey Adelson's birthday?
July 5.
Okay, so on July 5th of 2014, how old would he have turned that year?
70.
Okay, and this is about 2 to 3 weeks before Dan Markel was killed?
Yes.
Did your family do anything to celebrate his birthday that year?
Yes, we had a party at their condo.
Okay,
in
was
Miami.
there a gift from the family or from any of you to him?
No. I remember an email, and my dad is not someone who wants gifts or a big deal made about him, and so the email was something like, your dad doesn't want gifts; he just wants all of his kids to be with him on his birthday.
And was that from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
So she's basically just letting you know you and your kids coming is going to be his gift.
Correct.
And everybody, all the kids and grandkids being
Correct.
there. Okay.
So Donna says to Rob, no gifts, your presence is enough. Yet she says to Charlie, hey, I got an idea for Dad's birthday gift. And then she says, delete this message. And there's also people who think like they don't have enough on Donna. Guys, when they put all this together at the end in the closing, she is done, in my opinion.
Family ever discuss going on a cruise?
No, not with me.
When a birthday gift is given for somebody in the family, does Donna Adelson
I think this is George's mom right here, by the way. That's there every day. The blonde woman right here with the blue.
typically say, we're going to get him this, everybody owes this much, everybody's going to pay a third, or whatever it is?
Yeah, if there was like a big gift we're getting, or they said, we're getting this for someone, and you can be part of it, that was not uncommon.
Okay, so tell us about the party. You said it was at the Continuum?
Yes, at their apartment.
Okay, so is that like a condo building in Miami?
Yeah, on Miami Beach.
Okay, on Miami Beach, like South Beach?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it a secure building?
And it's very secure. It was, we were staying at a hotel down the street, and there was armed guards, and it was apparently there's a lot of celebrities that live there. It was a very high, very secure building. Okay.
And these celebrities that live there, were they people that you knew of? I mean, you knew who they were?
Sure. Yeah. A-Rod.
Did these people have kind of guards of their own too in the building?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So the guards that you saw were the guards in the front?
Yes.
All right. Had your parents, how recently had they moved to the Continuum?
I got the idea, it was certainly less than a year. I don't remember exactly, but seemed like they said they were going to try living down in South Beach to see if they liked it for their retirement. And so it had to be sometime, before, because they were pretty well moved in there. But I don't remember the exact time, but if I'm guessing, maybe 6 months before or something like that.
Okay, so by the weekend of the party, July 5th, are they fully moved into their condo there?
Yes.
Okay, and are they
fully moved in? Yet Wendi said they were just checking it out for Charlie's girlfriend or something. Charlie and his girlfriend were going down there. Yet he is saying they're fully moved in to this place that Wendi ended up moving into right after the murder. They are fully moved in months before the murder. Come on, people. Come on.
living there full time? From what you know?
It seemed like that, but I couldn't. I know they still own the house in Coral Springs, so I don't know if they were just there on the weekends, but I couldn't say definitively, but it looked like they were living there fully.
Okay. Was his party on his actual birthday or another day of the week?
No, on his actual birthday.
All right. Was your brother Charlie there that weekend?
Yes.
Wendi and her sons, were they there?
Yes.
Was the party catered?
Yeah, there was, yes.
What type of food did you have?
There were like past hors d'oeuvres, and then there was a paella chef on the balcony.
Okay.
Paella.
Was the party a surprise for Harvey?
No.
So you were never told, don't tell him about it, it's a surprise,
No.
anything like that? Don't tell him. Were you not supposed to tell him anything about the party that was a surprise?
No, there was nothing about a surprise birthday.
Was there ever a time in the weeks leading up to the party that you heard that the party may be canceled for any reason?
No, never.
All right, so how did you first hear about Dan Markel's murder?
I heard the day after the shooting occurred, so that would be Saturday, July 19. I was at a meeting in Chicago, and I think I got a phone call first, and that I was in a meeting, and so I just said, can I call you later? And then I got a text message shortly thereafter, like right before 10 in the morning, it said, like, tragedy here, please call.
And are these from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Okay. So were you able to call her that morning from the conference in Chicago?
Yeah, so I walked out and went to the hotel lobby and just hit call.
Okay, and tell us about that conversation with her.
So it's one of those moments that you'll just remember forever. So I remember being in the lobby of the Westin, and I assumed something terrible had happened, and but I wasn't ready for it. She said, so we just want to let you know that Danny's been shot, and they took him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. And it didn't make any sense. And I probably asked like a few medical questions, and they said they're driving up to go help Wendi, and we'll talk to you later. We can't talk now.
Okay. Was she crying in that conversation?
Not in that conversation.
Sir?
No, she was not.
Okay.
It was very matter of fact.
Did she ever give you any further detail that weekend about how he'd been shot, or other than just Danny was shot and he didn't make it?
I think it was the next day. So the only really other time that I spoke with him that weekend, I was in the airport going home, like Sunday afternoon. So it was definitely the next day, and it was the first time I could actually have any kind of conversation. And one of the things that she told me is, it bothered me, but I didn't have any other details about. But she said that someone went to the front door and said, "Are you Dan Markel?" and then shot him. And then I said, "Well, how could you know that? Who's telling you that?" And she said, "Well, that's just what they're telling us." And
okay. So she said someone told her that someone knocked on Danny's door, said, "Are you Dan Markel?" He said yes, and the shooter shot him.
That's the story I heard, and later we found out that wasn't what happened. But that story bothered me a lot because there's only one way you could hear that story.
Was she crying when she told you that information?
No.
I mean, that is crazy. That is a crazy detail. There's no way she could have known that. And he's adding things, folks. Like, it bothered him. Like, throughout his entire testimony, he like added details that weren't even like part of the question. I mean, you just know that he knows that she did it. I mean, there's even more stuff like, but it's like watching his testimony was like, holy shit. They like, I mean, you knew they did it, but do you have anything, baby, you want to play?
I just feel so sad for him because he is clearly like reliving those moments when he's saying, like, it's a moment you'll never forget. I was in the West, like he's just reliving all of that. And it's not just like for him, it's not just the loss of his brother-in-law, his nephew's dad. It's the loss of his entire family and his respect for them and his, ability to ever reconcile with them.
Such a great point. That's why she's here, folks. She's much smarter than me. Check her channel out, please. Mindful Crime Couture. She has great videos on the Adelsons.
You mentioned earlier that law enforcement contacted you after Dan Markel's murder. Did they contact you to try to see if you knew any information?
Yeah, they came to our house. I was already at work, and so they talked to my wife. It had to be a Wednesday or Thursday, so I was already at work.
And is this your house in New York?
Yes.
Okay. And did you end up talking to law enforcement and answering their questions, letting them know what you knew?
Yeah, they came to my office the next day, and we with 2 agents, and we had we had an interview.
Okay. After that conversation with, you said it was the FBI earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. After that conversation with the FBI, did Donna Adelson ever say anything to you about having talked to law enforcement or the FBI?
It was either that afternoon or the next day, but and she called me and said, I just want to let you know, if the police come around, don't talk to them.
Okay, so she told you not to talk to law enforcement.
Correct.
Did you let her know that you already had talked to law enforcement?
Yeah, I said I already did.
What did she say to that?
She said, "Oh, well, you don't know anything anyway."
You don't know anything anyway?
Correct.
Insane. So first she says, don't talk to the cops. And then she says, well, you don't know anything anyway. Almost implying she knows what was going on. You don't know anything anyway. We know what was going on. Don't talk to the cops. And then they want to make it like they would have talked to the cops. Meanwhile, they got out of there immediately and would never speak to Isom, Donna, and Harv. I mean, it's just, this testimony.
But also, I think that was a dig at him as well.
Like he wasn't part of the plan.
He's not part of the family.
Right.
You don't know anything anyway. Like,
right.
Nobody trusts you with anything anyway.
Great point.
Was that an unusual statement coming from your mother?
Yeah, everything that week was unusual, but I clearly didn't know anything, but I wasn't going to not talk to the FBI if they show up at my house.
How did you respond? Let me ask you this. After the murder of Dan Markel, did Donna Adelson seem curious about who killed Dan Markel?
No.
Was there a complete lack of curiosity?
Yeah, nobody seemed curious.
Did you actually ever ask her, like after the murder, like, hey, like, what do you think happened? What do you?
Yeah, and the conversations were kind of rerouted, or that was certainly discouraged, and it was probably like maybe sometime like mid-August, when I finally had a chance to ask and say, what is going on? This was not a small event. This was getting a lot of notoriety, and I said, what do you guys think happened? And she had said, I don't know and I don't care. It doesn't concern me.
Was that out of care?
The father of their children and grandchildren didn't care, didn't seem curious at all to find out what happened. I mean, this testimony couldn't be more damning against them. It couldn't be. Like, just talk about him in the closing. There's so much more, but this is so bad for them.
Character for her to not be curious and not be asking some questions?
Yeah, it was an unsolved murder of my former brother-in-law, like someone that we all know very well. If it was like some neighborhood gossip, people would be interested. This was like national interest, and nobody had any curiosity about who did this to Danny.
Is a person, you mentioned that not only is it your brother-in-law, but it was like national news at that point as well.
Yes.
And regardless of it being national news or not, is a person dying from gun violence an extremely unusual thing to happen in your family?
Yeah, to this day, Danny's the only person that I know who's died from gun violence or been a victim of gun violence. So it's unique in that manner.
What would your
Rob is the only one of the Adelsons that I it's okay to me that he says Danny. Like, I don't want Wendi saying Danny. I don't want Donna saying Danny. I don't want Charlie saying Danny. To me, he's saying Danny because that's how he knew Danny. It was like he had a relationship with Danny.
Your mom, Donna Adelson, do if you did try to ask her any more about Danny's murder after that?
It wasn't a subject for discussion. It would be rerouted, or it was just not a subject to discuss. When
you say rerouted, do you mean like changing the subject?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fast forward to 2016. Do you remember in May of 2016 when Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera were arrested?
Yeah, I do. I saw it in the OR lounge. Someone told me about it. So it had to be like a Wednesday, and
And you were in the like the operating room lounge?
It was
and someone
the lounge.
told you about it?
Yes, someone else, because
Okay.
stories like this people see on Twitter or such, and I remember someone telling me like, hey, did you hear about that case, because it's more than one person had followed it, and I saw it, and then that was on the 26th, and I remember the dates because our anniversary is on the 28th of May. My wife and I were like, should we call them? Like they arrested some guy who killed Danny. And
when you say them, you mean like should we call my parents? And
yes.
Yeah, okay. So it was big news that even people you work with were seeing that there were finally some arrests made.
Right.
Okay. And that was 2 days before your anniversary, you said? Yes. Okay. So did you and your wife eventually talk to your parents?
We did. Like we thought, like, should we call them? And we figured, if they wanted to call us, they would call us, and then they didn't. And so we figured, well, they'll call us on our anniversary, and so we can just sit tight. And I'm sure it's pretty stressful. And this guy was arrested in Miami, and so they called us on our anniversary, which was the 28th.
Okay, so that was 2 days after the arrest, I think.
2 days after I found out. Yes.
2 days after you found out. Thank you. So on the 28th, did you talk to Donna Adelson?
Yes.
All right. And when she called you, was she telling you the good news that Danny's killers were arrested?
No, just called us for anniversary, and wished us well, and had some small talk for a bit. I kind of let it go for a little bit. I mean, this was not small news, and so I finally broached the topic and said, they found the guy, they arrested someone who killed Danny. There's no response, and I said it, at least 2 or 3 times that they made an arrest. They got the guy who killed Danny. Yeah, and then her response was, I've got to go.
And then did she hang up the phone after that?
Yes.
Crazy.
And did you ever talk to her about it again, ever after that?
No.
Just a second.
And I think sometimes we, like, I don't know, like sometimes you don't, like, I'm just thinking about how, like, Rob Adelson's at work doing his job, and like everyone knows that like his mother and his brother and his sister are involved with the murder of like he just is going to work, and like the people in the lounge are like, did you hear like a Latin king got arrested? And by the way, he had to tell his kids, who are now I believe teenagers, hey, he's from New York. He's like, hey, I'm flying down to Florida. I got to testify against Grandma in her murder trial. Like, you just got to tell his family that. Like, it's like, I can't even imagine what that's like. Oh, your uncle, he's in jail for the rest of his life for the murder of your cousin's dad. Like, it's like they just ruined so many lives. Obviously, obvious it's a murder, but like it just their web and how they entrapped and snared people. It's just.
I think that that 28th conversation is so sad because that was the last of his hope. Like, I'm going to tell them this and they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're so relieved, blah, 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 da, da, da. And he's like, I never spoke about it again with them, because right then when she said, I've got to go, he was like,
it was them.
That's it.
He already, I'm sure, had his suspicions, and that was like, without a shadow of a doubt, that was the moment. He's like, that's this. My mother is a stone cold murderer. Like, yeah,
and and I'm sure like he's run a million scenarios in his head, like of who was involved and who, was it just Wendi, or was it just Wendi and Charlie, or what? God, it's my mom and my dad too. Like.
I'll be right back. I just gotta get Prudence.
Pretty. So I think about that, like how many nights he's probably laid in his bed just thinking about that. And yeah, Eileen says, I wonder how Wendi is keeping the young boys from all this. I wonder that as well. I mean, they're old enough now that they definitely have phones. They have
TikTok,
social media, TikTok.
YouTube.
There are some things that I think are really, really some damning things that would be difficult for them to, even though they've been pretty much bathed and washed in this idea that their family's innocent and the state is persecuting them and the Markels are persecuting them and they're trying to take them away. I think there are some things that you can hear your grandma saying and you can hear your uncle saying and you can read the transcripts of them saying that are hard to get over. They're hard to get around.
And they're teenagers now, where it's like it's a rite of passage where you are starting to rebel against your parents and what you don't believe everything they say. You realize that they're not right all the time. There she is, giving her a little hug again, her little handler.
Happy birthdays, happy. Other than her reaching out for happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, that kind of thing, was that the last conversation you had with her?
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
So Sarah, I don't know if she's still here, brought up a point that I also agree. I did think it was interesting, and I don't know if maybe it has to do with relevance, but why they didn't really bring up Donna meddling in his marriage. Like, you would think that would be something that's relevant to this case. So that was a little, I'm assuming that came up in their deposition at the very least. That was a little surprising. Are they saving that? Like, also, they don't go over the voicemail, babe. You know, the voicemail that with Wendi. I mean, obviously it's not Wendi, but that's something that can be used in the trial, right? Didn't Rob say he tries to talk to her about it, and she calls him, but she thinks that she's going to get his voicemail to talk about it, and he answers, and she's surprised. Am I crazy? Is that something I'm making up?
You're probably right. I don't remember that one.
I
Is
think that was from Over My Dead Body, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but
you're right. You're right.
Fairly certain Wendi calls him to tell him about it, but she's expecting to get the
voicemail.
And she's flustered when she talks to him and she hangs up, if I remember correctly how it goes. That's something.
Yeah, if you haven't, that's really the only other source for information on Rob Adelson is that if you would listen to the Over My Dead Body podcast, they did a couple interviews with him and his wife, Haritha. So that's a good place for information on that. Babe, you want to just take me off and I'll see if I can get her to come up here.
Now there's someone who's just dropping someone off. It's fine. Mute my mic and play.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now we got this idiot. Good afternoon, sir. So you are the brother. You are the brother of Wendi. Does that mean that Donna is also your mother? This lady is really. She didn't initially. She didn't start bothering me, but now I almost would say I want the rationator back. Actually, I think I can say I would want the rationator back, even though I wasn't a huge fan of his.
Good afternoon.
And you're saying I'm not familiar. You're a doctor. What exactly is a doctor? ENT. What does the E and the N and the T stand for? Is that eggs? I'm not familiar.
Between 2012 and 2014, how many times did you come to visit your family in South Florida?
2012 and 2014. My daughter was born in October of 2012, and so I think my dad's birthday, oh no, there was a Thanksgiving, I think in 2013. So I mean, pretty much Thanksgivings were the times when we would travel, having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So.
Sure. Okay, so Thanksgiving of 2013, and then your dad's birthday in 2014.
Yeah, there could have been one other one, but I remember those two for certain that I could swear to.
Okay, and when you came for his birthday was on the 5th. You came in on the 4th, the party was on the 5th, and you left on the 6th, correct?
That's my memory of it.
And Thanksgiving, kind of the same thing? I mean, you got a job you got to get back to, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And how frequent were the phone calls that you were having with your family?
Probably less than once a week, maybe every other week, something like that.
And when I say family, I think I'm referring to Donna.
Sure.
Okay. Now, you were here on the 5th for your dad's birthday. You said you went home on the 6th.
Yep.
And Danny Markel was brutally murdered on July the 18th of 2014.
By the way, that also
was in the
pisses.
summer.
She just loves to he was brutally murdered. Like she's trying to infer that couldn't be this elderly grandma that would brutally murder someone. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Recall that?
Yes.
And when did you arrive in Florida to be with your family?
I didn't.
Okay, thank you. You had mentioned in your direct testimony that your mom called and said you shouldn't talk to the police. You recall that?
Yeah, I do, yes.
What actually happened was a family friend, Michael Weinstein, you know him, correct?
I do, yeah.
Your mom indicated that he had called and advised that as a family friend and an attorney that you all should not talk to the police. That's what she told you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
The direct was that bad. Like, they couldn't even try to soften all that stuff. Like, they had nothing. That's how bad that direct was. That's it? That's the cross? That's all they could muster? They have nothing. Babe, you're muted, I think.
Plus, when Wendi is up there, Fulford spent a lot of time being like, your mom was really kind to you. She did all these great things for you. Didn't even try that with Rob.
Great point, babe. Great point. Crushing it as always.
You may step down.
Bravo to Rob Adelson. And notice, I don't know if she's in here, but notice I was told he did not go out. He did not go out like Wendi did. They had a special way for him to come in and out, so he didn't have to go past Wendi and Harvey. Like his freaking, not Wendi, Donna and Harvey, his freaking parents. Like heartbreaking. Heartbreak. He had to fly down to Florida from New York to testify against his mother in her murder trial.
So, about a half hour exactly.
One very brief witness.
No, this is the witness who confirms that Wendi did drive by the crime scene. We don't have to see that. But I think we're going to go to Jeff Lacasse and then maybe call a day after that, because the new information with Jeff was also pretty interesting, folks.
I know the divorce was already final. I'm referencing the subsequent litigation as well.
And for the record, the jurors have responded in.
Jeff Lacasse.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
You may take your seat.
I mean, another thing to take a step back. I mean, I've probably brought this up. Like 11 years this has been going on. Because Jeff by the fates of the universe, gets into a relationship with Wendi Adelson. He has now had to testify at 4 trials, God knows how many depositions, and it's just crazy to me.
You may inquire when you're ready, sir.
Viv, Jeff is the best. Love Jeff.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
I'm Jeffrey Lacasse, pardon me, Jeffrey Lacasse.
How are you employed?
I'm an associate professor at Florida State University.
How long have you been at FSU?
Since 2013, so 11 years now, 12 years now.
Have you always lived here in Tallahassee?
I was here from 2000 to 2008 pursuing my doctorate, and I went to Arizona State for 5 years, and I came back in the fall of 2013 when all this happened.
He's like, I wish I had just stayed in Arizona.
And back in that time frame, did you have a relationship with Wendi Adelson?
I did.
When did that relationship begin?
We started dating in late September of 2013.
Okay. What was the nature of the relationship?
At first, it was very casual. We weren't exclusive. After Halloween, things started to accelerate. That's the fall of 2013. And then by late February, early March, we were an exclusive.
I mean, after Halloween, like, you know, when Wendi pulls her offer on the house and Charlie says that he has someone that could take care of the problem, that's when it starts getting serious. I mean,
couple.
When did the relationship end?
It's a little tricky, but I would mark it at around July 14th,
Okay,
2014.
Around the time of the homicide or shortly before?
Right before, yes.
During the time that you were dating Wendi Adelson, did you become aware of her divorce?
I did.
And the litigation surrounding the divorce and subsequent to the divorce. Were you familiar with that as well?
Yes, it was a constant topic of conversation.
Were you aware that it was an unusually difficult or nasty divorce?
I was.
And during the time that you were dating her, were you aware that litigation was still pending during that time frame?
Yes.
Was there a specific item of litigation that was a common topic during the time you were dating Mrs. Adelson?
Well, as far as what she discussed, there were multiple. The relocation motion had just been denied a couple months before we started dating, so that was still very much on Wendy's mind. That came up a lot. Then there were the custody issues with the kids, of course.
Okay. Did you know Dan Markel?
I met him briefly a couple times.
Was that in the context of you being the new boyfriend and exchange of the kids kind
Exactly.
of thing?
Picking up the kids, swimming lessons one time. Never spoke to him for more than 2 or 3 minutes.
The interaction that you did have with him, were those cordial?
It was polite and cordial.
Did you have any issues with him other than things that Wendi was telling you?
I sort of adopted the Adelson family narrative. I kind of believed what Wendi was telling me. And Wendi and I also had mutual friends from when I was here before, and they had sort of adopted that narrative as well. So I didn't have a personal beef with Dan Markel, but I did believe sort of the Adelson family story about Dan Markel.
Which is that he was making it very difficult for Wendi. He was a difficult person.
Yes.
If you know, did Wendi Adelson want to relocate to South Florida?
Yes, she did, very badly.
And why did she want to relocate to South Florida?
She preferred to be down there with her family. She also hated Tallahassee. That's in my original, police statements. It was almost a daily topic of conversation how much she disliked Tallahassee. So was both. She really disliked Tallahassee. She preferred to be in Miami. On our second date, she broke into tears talking about relocation and abruptly ended the date. I mean, it was still very visceral, very important to her.
All right, and that was shortly after the relocation had been denied, is that right?
Yeah, that would have been last week of September, so a couple months after. It was fresh then, yeah.
Okay, and were you specifically familiar during that time with the litigation seeking to limit Donna Adelson's exposure to the kids, or to have her be supervised in the presence of the kids, because Dan was alleging that she had made disparaging remarks about him to the children?
Yes, I was aware of that.
How did you become aware of that?
Oh, multiple ways. Wendi talking about it. And it's hard to remember which exact emails and motions I was forwarded, but definitely Wendy's talking about it for sure, and perhaps I was sent court materials.
Okay, were you also shown things in her presence?
Yes, yes.
All right, and if you know, did Wendi take those that particular filing seriously? Was she upset about that or worried about that?
Yes, every time there was a motion, they took it very seriously, and I'd reported to the police that it was disruptive on the relationship, because every time something was filed, dates would get canceled, Wendi would be in a mood, Wendi would be upset. So
when you say they took it seriously, who are you referencing?
The entire family, but Wendi was the person I was having contact with. Right. But it was known to me that the whole family was upset.
Okay. And how do you deduce that it's a they and not just a Wendi? Is she in communication with the family? Is she relaying that to you? How do you know that?
For multiple...
Speculation and opinion.
Overruled. He may testify as to his personal knowledge. You're not to repeat, however, what anyone said out of court, Mr. Lacasse.
Sure. So conversations with Wendi, which were consistent, and also observing the family dynamic, which was, I described to police as a family without boundaries, that sort of not having just a shared family life than your own.
Opinion.
Stand as to opinion.
All right, so in your observations, let's keep it specific to Donna, if you don't mind. Was Donna Adelson very involved in her daughter's life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was she very involved in her daughter's divorce litigation?
Yes.
And I say divorce, I know the divorce was already final, I'm referencing the subsequent litigation as well.
Yes.
Okay. During the time that you were in a relationship with Wendi, did you have the occasion to meet her family?
I did.
When was that?
I met Donna, we met her multiple times, but Wendi had me come over to her house and had me have dinner with Donna in mid-November. So sat down and had dinner with Donna. There's about 6 or 7 other occasions that we met and or interacted. Me picking up Wendi to go on a date, and the parents would be in the living room. We went to a Hanukkah party together. We went to the circus together. Wendy's parents would use Wendy's van to transport the kids, so I would come pick Wendi up from the house to bring her to work because the parents needed the car. I met Charlie in March when I stayed with him, so that's some of the interactions.
All right. And when you met Donna here in Tallahassee, was Harvey always there as well, or would sometimes be
I don't
Donna
believe Harvey
alone?
was there. I don't believe Harvey was there that time, but he was there other times.
So did it appear to you that Donna was frequently in Tallahassee?
Donna was definitely frequently in Tallahassee between September and early May. After that, I'm not aware of her being in Tallahassee. Well, I think she was in Tallahassee quickly once or twice after that, but in terms of extended trips, there's an awful lot of moms here for a while going on between September and late April, early May.
And when Donna was here in town staying with Wendi, what was the purpose of the visits, if you know?
I think multiple purposes. The children was what almost everything revolved around, so spending time with the kids would be the main purpose that I was aware of.
All right. And you said you met Charlie. Where did you meet him?
Wendi and I went to, Wendi and I went to alternative spring break in Immokalee, Florida for spring break 2014. After we were done with that field trip of sorts, we went to stay with Charlie at his house for one night. So I spent one evening with Charlie Adelson.
All right, and did you interact at all with Donna and or Harvey on that trip?
No, they didn't attend. We didn't go there.
Did you ever spend time with Donna Adelson in South Florida?
No.
All right, so the only times you met her were here in Tallahassee.
That's correct.
What were your interactions with Donna Adelson like?
Just a few that I recall. Sometimes they were really quick because I was just picking Wendi up. When we had dinner, we talked for maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, but it was pretty quick, and just getting to know the girl who I'm interested in, her mom, so it's just that kind of thing. She excused herself from the table after like maybe 10, 12 minutes, something like that. And so
Was that a conversation where it was just the two of you seated at the table?
it was Wendi, myself, and Donna.
Okay.
Just a getting to know you type thing. Just
Okay.
ended fairly quickly.
What about Catherine Magbanua? Did you ever have an occasion to meet her?
I did. She was at the dinner at Yardbird that myself, Wendi Adelson, Katie, and Charlie were at. Yeah.
All right, and that was the night that you spent in South Florida where you met Charlie?
Correct.
Was that the only time you ever met Charlie?
Only time I ever met Charlie.
Okay. And do you know the date of that visit?
I believe that's March 11th, 2014.
And how was Catherine Magbanua related to the Adelson family?
She was Charlie's new girlfriend at that dinner, is how I knew her.
Was it your impression or knowledge that this was the first meeting between Wendi Adelson and Catherine Magbanua?
That was my impression. There was a lot of getting to know you talk type stuff.
All right. At the dinner table, did the subject of Dan Markel come up?
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of specifics, but I think it came up kind of briefly. There was a lot of talk about Wendy's book. I remember that part.
And at the dinner table, did Catherine Magbanua's ex come up at all?
Yes.
Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, that stood out because Katie mentioned that she had her children's father was always getting in trouble with the police and had a violent criminal record. I'm paraphrasing, but it was it sounded like not parking tickets. It sounded pretty bad, and it stuck in my memory for that reason.
What happened after dinner?
We went back to Charlie's house on Well Harbor.
All right. And did Catherine Magbanua go back to Charlie's house as well?
No.
All right. So at that time, it would be just the three of you, Wendi, and Charlie?
And Charlie's then roommate, Dr. Jerome Obed.
Okay. And can you
Dr.
describe the
Jerome Obed getting a lot of camera time, a lot of time in this trial. The dude, if you don't know, that was Charlie's roommate, as he just discussed. Also, was the person that was going to get pills for Donna's jail daughter so that she would testify for her. It really, frankly, it's shocking to me. I know he's been deposed, and I don't know if he's ever been on the witness, but it is interesting that he's never been. He was Charlie's roommate, and they didn't interest him in Charlie's show. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's just interesting he's never had to testify.
residence there?
Yeah,
Even only for this meeting, this time.
I thought it was a nice house. Had a hot tub, had a pool.
Okay. Did you get in the hot tub that night?
We did get in the hot tub for a while.
Who all was in the hot tub?
Myself, Charlie, Wendi, and Dr. Obed at some points. And people were in and out, but those were the four that were in the hot tub. And
during that time, did Charlie Adelson make some comments against Dan Markel?
Yes. Yes, he didn't like Danny. That might be understating it. Yeah.
Is that the most you can remember? Was the gist was that he didn't like him?
I'm not downloading that exact quote at this moment. I remember he was fired up. It wasn't just like, I don't like Danny. It was maybe a overprotective brother anger sort of vibe to it.
Okay. And did he make some other comment about wrong side of the tracks or something?
Yeah. He's kind of.
Your Honor, you're saying?
Please approach. Continue with your line of inquiry, Ms. Kappelman.
Sir, do you remember the statement that I was referencing?
Yes, I do. There was a couple of statements in the hot tub.
Okay.
One was about the fact that Charlie knew people on both sides of the tracks. That he hung out with professionals, dentists, doctors, etc. But he also knew, was familiar, had social contacts that were in the criminal element. And he's kind of bragging, and he kind of specifically mentioned Cuban neighborhoods as a place where you would find that criminal element.
I want to ask you about an incident involving, I think the context is assessing Wendy's oldest child for gifted placement. Do you
Yes.
know where I'm
Now, this was another jaw on the floor, new moment, and I'm going to stop after they have Babe discuss it. But this was like, holy shit.
assessing Wendy's. Ask you about an incident involving, I think the context is assessing Wendy's oldest child for gifted placement. Do you
Yes.
know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, could you tell the jury, please?
Wendy was looking to get her older son tested to see if he was gifted to get him placed in school. This is spring 2014. And I was trying to put her in touch with some people that could do that. And we were talking about that, and she asked me when children develop autobiographical memory.
Is your training or profession such that you have some knowledge that you could offer on that topic?
Your Honor, he's not been disclosed as an expert.
Stand, you'll need to establish a foundation as to why this testimony could be given by this individual, Ms. Kappelman.
I'm not offering it for its truth, Judge. It goes to Ms. Adelson's state of mind and motive.
Very well. As to that purpose, I will permit it. However, as to that limited issue only, can this be considered by the jury?
So, I mean, you're not an expert on children's autobiographical memories, are you?
Not really. That's in some of the textbooks I teach out of, but I think I can keep it out of the scientific realm and explain it commonsensically, which is how I responded to Wendy. Children at age 2 have amnesia, which most parents probably realize. Between 3 and 4, kids start to develop the ability to retain memories.
Jeff, this is expert testimony.
As to a specific thing that goes to the state of mind of the individual you are testifying about, Mr. Lacasse, you may speak. As to your knowledge of any literature or research on this matter, I do not need you to testify on that matter.
What is your profession? What is your background?
I'm a professor of social work. I teach mental health courses.
Okay. So, Wendy asks you what?
She asked me when kids develop memory. At what age will kids start to remember what happened to them when they were a kid?
And what was your answer?
I think I said 5 or 6.
Again, this is expert testimony.
Overruled, Mr. Zalman, sit down. You may.
This was just an interesting moment because Georgia was like fed up with Zellman when actually he was kind of right. So, but listen to her under her breath.
Again, this is expert testimony.
She's like, it's not.
Mr. Zalman, sit down. You may.
And Everett at one of the moments where he's had to be like stern, like sit your ass down, bitch.
Testify concerning not the truth of the matter asserted, but how this affected the state of mind of Wendy Adelson.
Your Honor, this has not been disclosed to the defense.
What is occurred?
Well, that should have been his objection in the first place. Was that this was from a deposition? What they're going into right now was a deposition with, I believe, the rationator, and not them. So that's why it was an issue. But babe, what do you think is the reason they're trying to get in this conversation about Wendy that Jeff had?
Well, I mean, obviously, probably everyone is making the connection that, they would remember the day of the murder of their dad. I think that that's part of it, but I think also that they were present for a lot of her behavior. They were present for her packing. They were present for her, talking about their dad. They were present for this relationship with Jeff. but also I think one of the more heartbreaking things is that the TV.
Right. Perhaps they weren't present for an incident where they threw something at the TV because they never did. Perhaps.
I think it is my opinion that the TV was broken by Wendi, not by the children. And then that was used for the alibi. And then, of course, like, it's not only the alibi, it's also the joke about the hitman. And then it's also the TV costs $5. It's threefold in how that, you know, plays into the murder of their father. And to think that they were used in that fashion, like, we were talking about this because Jay's sons are close in age, like the Markel boys are, and I was talking about how they have this memory of when Ethan broke his arm, and you know they remember like important things like that. They would remember likely breaking the TV because that would have been, you know, something that was like, oh, they did something really bad that then affected them. You know, they weren't able to watch their movies on it. They were, you know, whatever. And also just like the whole, like, you did something bad, like Ethan was jumping on the chair, you know, kind of thing. And so I think they would remember, I didn't break the TV. And my mom is saying that that's the setup for this entire thing. Like, I broke the TV that then becomes the alibi that then I didn't break the TV. We didn't break the TV.
Also, what I think is, if we learned anything, I mean, we learned a lot, but from the wiretap calls with Charlie and Donna, they have no problem. You hear the swings in the background. They have no problem discussing this stuff in front of the kids. They have no problem. Literally, almost every call with Charlie and Donna is, oh, the kids are here. Oh, the kids are there. So like, who knows how many conversations they had in front of the kids where they're just playing and they think they're not listening, but they're listening. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what they've discussed in front of them? And you know, Wendi, she had to like make sure she was probably freaking out about that. Oh shit, they heard this. Oh shit, the TV.
We'll take you to the jury room. The courtroom doors. Don't discuss your testimony.
I mean, partially the other thing I think is that she wanted them to not remember their dad as well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
she didn't want to deal with their memories.
Great point.
Concerning the issues of any statements or any conversation he had with Wendi Adelson about her children's memories. You are not to consider this as a part of the evidence in this case. You may continue with your examination.
Thank you, Judge.
But just as a side note, just another massive piece of information implicating Wendi that we had no idea about before. And I tweeted this yesterday because every time I post like a little snippet, like 60, 90-second clip, people are like, that's not enough evidence to get Wendi. No shit. My 90-second clip is not enough to convict a woman. But you don't think they made her a co-conspirator, and you don't think they're continually, this trial, they're adding all this information about Wendi to at least take a shot at her? Come on. Come on.
Babe, your 90-second video is not going to be considered in a court of law.
Well, I don't know. I think they're going to submit it to the grand jury, which I am also on. So
I am so sad that yesterday, or on your first live, you all, he did not highlight my comments. I don't know if you saw what I said, but you know how Jay has been saying that Georgia is just a little bit off. And what is my theory on that, babe?
I don't remember.
She misses you.
That's why.
In the same time frame, I guess we're talking about maybe March of 14, somewhere in there, did Wendi Adelson, actually strike that. I'm going to move on to the coffee shop meeting.
This is another piece. She did this in the other trial where she, like, I think has something about Wendi where she last trial was, she talks about the birthday, Wendy's birthday. And I think she gets into it, but then she immediately strikes it because almost like, whoops, that's for Wendy's trial, in my opinion.
Actually, strike that.
Strike that.
Did Wendi Adelson, actually strike that. I'm going to move on to.
Like, did Wendi Adelson actually strike that? Why is she striking that? She has something in her pad about Wendi Adelson, about the title, the timeline, and she's like, strike that. We'll save that for Wendy's trial. That's my opinion.
To the coffee shop meeting. You familiar with that?
The June 4th coffee shop?
Yes, sir. June 4th, 2014. Did you have plans prior to that meeting to travel with Wendi Adelson over the time frame in which Dan Markel was ultimately killed?
Yeah, that's right. And on June 4th, I had planned to see Wendi and the kids at her house that night. Middle of the day, she called me to sort of an impromptu meeting at Red Eye over on Thomasville.
Reminder, June 4th. What is June 4th, babe? The first trip.
Yeah, the first trip. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And she
Sorry, I shouldn't have put you on the spot.
abruptly canceled our trip for reasons that didn't make much sense.
When was the trip scheduled to happen?
The 11th to the 17th.
All right, so you would have returned home actually the day before the murder
Correct.
occurred. Okay. And did she express concern about not being home in time to pick up the children?
Yeah, the reason she canceled the trip was I'm worried we're going to get strict.
Sustained unless there is an exception. It's capital.
Goes to motive, Judge.
Overruled.
Don't care if they go on a trip or not. All right, sir. So the reason for not going on the trip?
The reason for not going on the trip was, well, it was tied up in a couple of things. First of all the stuff going on with Danny was a constant refrain. But given the stuff going on with Danny, she was concerned that she might not be back in time, even though our flight was to land the day before. And it wasn't, it's so odd to me. It wasn't winter. We're going through it. It's like LA to Atlanta to Tallahassee, leaving in the morning. I didn't see any real reason why that would be a problem.
She would have needed to pick up the kids on July 18th, right?
Yes. She knew that then. Their schedules were planned out for like months.
Okay, so you would have returned on the 17th, and she would have been picking up her children from preschool on the 18th.
Yeah, I think 5 p.m. on the 18th, which is why, I mean, I didn't object. I just said, okay, I didn't make a thing out of it, but it didn't make any sense.
Okay. And that, just for clarification, that conversation occurred on June 4th.
It did.
Okay, when was the next time you saw her after that coffee shop meeting?
Yeah, so that was mid-afternoon, and in the evening, I had plans to go see her and spend time with her and the kids. And then she had contacted me that she wasn't feeling well and I should like rush over there, essentially. She had a stomach problem, so I got there as quickly as I could.
All right, so did you go to her residence that evening?
I did.
And what happened when you got there?
Well, on the way there, I remember contacting her and asking her, do you want me to stop and get some stomach medicine or something like that? And didn't. I believe she told me not to. Once I got there, she hemmed and hawed a little bit, and then eventually I left because she was a complete anxious wreck. She didn't have the flu. She didn't have food poisoning. She was just a nervous, anxious wreck, and it was affecting her stomach. So after a little while, I drove to a nearby convenience store to go get her Pepto-Bismol, which I recall because I have a credit card receipt from this random convenience store a few miles from her house.
All right, so she was a nervous wreck that night, and did she tell you what the problem was or not?
No, there was no discernible. I couldn't figure it out. She didn't tell me.
Okay. All right. Was there a time when you were over at Ms. Adelson's residence and you observed that her TV was broken?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. When did that occur?
That would have been around the week of June 11th to 18th, somewhere in that time period. I went over Wendy's to spend time with her and the kids, and she asked me to take a look at the television. I turned it on. She said there was a problem with the TV, so I turned it on expecting to see like input 1 flashing, or the kids pushed the wrong button or whatever. And what I'm looking at when I turn it on is a screen that's been partially shattered, that's been struck by an object. So she had a broken TV.
All right, and did she tell you what happened to the TV, how it got into that?
No, she kind of asked me to look into the TV, as if she didn't know. I looked around. It was impossible to me that the kids would have done it, but I didn't know the better explanation at the time. So I was kind of mystified as to what happened. It looked like a human being, between 5 and 6 foot, something like that. It stood in front of it and hit it. That's what it looked like. But she was asking me.
Okay, so it was like an impact mark, like a round impact with spider webs.
Exactly. Then the image, the pixels are distorted. Most people have probably seen this. So it's, and it wasn't completely shattered. You could sort of see what was going on in the television. But it's not a TV anybody would normally watch.
Okay. All right, so let's move away from the TV for now. Was there a date that you had with Wendi Adelson on, gosh, have I gone backwards in time here? It was the day before her birthday. What was the date of that?
We were scheduled to have a date. The day before her birthday is April 21st. We were scheduled to have kind of a special date night that night. Wendi didn't answer her phone, didn't answer texts, and I got so concerned about her. A few hours after the date was supposed to have started, I just drove over there to check on her, knocked on the door for a while. She finally came to the door. Appeared to be intoxicated, and not just on alcohol. I mean, weary-eyed. I'm not sure what substances, but it wasn't good. She wanted me to stay, and I was annoyed enough that I actually just left. I didn't stay the night. So.
Okay, so I kind of got our timeline out of her, but some erratic behavior from her on April 21st and then again on June 4th.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to approach and show you a text message that was sent on June 28th of 2014. And I've marked it as States Exhibit 141. Have you ever had a chance to review this text message before?
Yeah, you showed this to me last week.
All right, and this message had never been shown to you before last week, right?
Right.
And it's been testified that this was from Wendi Adelson to her brother Rob Adelson, but it concerns you.
Yes.
Is there anything factually incorrect in what Wendi Adelson is stating in that text message?
Well, when she says I haven't told mom and dad about me, I met them multiple times. It's impossible that they didn't know we were dating. For example, I was aware that Donna wasn't thrilled that I wasn't Jewish, So there was, that doesn't add it. This doesn't make sense to me in terms of like seeing me for 6 or 7 months.
So in that text message, she's saying, that you're a secret boyfriend from the parents. Were you a secret boyfriend from the parents at that time?
It's implausible. No, I don't think so.
In fact, you'd met the parents several times.
Yeah, and had conversations with them, limited conversations, but conversations. And the other part that's, I think, really significant is the kids talked about me constantly. I have all kinds of text messages and emails where Wendy's mentioning the kids are down in South Florida talking about me.
So at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence states 141.
Any objection?
Can I see that, please?
Admitted at this time.
Okay, I want to draw your attention next to a disagreement that occurred with Wendi Adelson on June 29th of 2014. Do you recall that incident?
I do.
Okay. And at that time, did you confront Wendi about some suspicions you had that she was seeing other other men.
Yeah, that was part of it. That was the main part of the disagreement. I also had spent the last 2 or 3 months concerned that she seemed to be stringing me along.
Where did the fight occur?
The fight occurred in Gainesville.
Okay, and I say fight, it was a verbal disagreement.
It was verbal disagreement, and argument's not even the right word. We just exchanged words, yeah.
Okay, and did that exchange of words lead to an awkward drive together back to Tallahassee?
It did, a very awkward drive back to Tallahassee.
And that was?
That's the morning of it's 29th or 30th. It was the 30th, the morning of the 30th.
Morning of June 30th.
Yes.
Okay. And after you parted ways, once you returned back to Tallahassee on the 30th, what was the status of your relationship over the next couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, we left that, when I left on the 30th, when he was clear that it wasn't over, but it wasn't great that we'd had this exchange either. So over the next couple weeks, we had phone calls, text messages, video chats with the kids. My take was, seems like it's probably going to be okay, but I didn't know for sure. It did string the relationship out another couple weeks when it easily could have ended.
When was the next time you saw her in person?
July 13th.
All right, so about, I guess that's the Sunday before the murder, is that right?
That's correct.
And where did you see her?
We went to dinner and a movie. I picked her up at her house at Aqua Ridge. We went to dinner and a movie and then returned there.
Okay, while we're on the topic of Aqua Ridge, I'm going to approach and show you.
All right, now this.
What's been introduced.
Man, oh man. When they introduced it under Wendy's testimony, this picture, I'm like, why are they introducing it? And then when Jeff describes why, holy shit. To me, this is massive. And of course, the people on Twitter are like, this is nothing. Also YouTube.
We'll circle back to Aqua. All right, we'll circle back to Aqua Ridge. So we're on the disagreement, didn't see her for a while, saw her on July 13th. And you were at her residence. What was the plan for that evening?
I didn't know. It was just to spend time together and maybe talk about the relationship some, but we were conversing. We had conversations.
Were the kids there that night?
They were not.
Okay, so it's just the two of you at the residence?
Just the two of us.
All right, and did the subject of relocation come up?
Yes.
In what context?
It came up in the context of whenever Wendi got back from Miami, she was always very upset about the fact that the relocation had previously been denied. I mean, it had been legally denied, but she wasn't over it. It was a constant refrain about how much she hated Tallahassee. So we're talking about the future of our relationship, and I'm asking, are you going to be here? Because with the constant complaining about how hard it was on her parents to transport the kids and just the constant complaining, I was just thinking, is she even going to be here? Is it worth trying to push forward in the relationship? And she said the only way that I'd ever relocate is if something would have to happen to Danny.
Subject to the same ruling at sidebar. The objection is overruled pending the other matters that do have to be addressed. You may continue, Ms. Kappelman.
Please repeat your answer.
Yeah, the only way she'd ever be able to relocate is if something happened to Danny, was the first statement.
Okay, and did she mention anything further about something happening to Danny?
Can I give the context before the next?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was getting a little tired of this whole drama around the relocation, and so I pushed back on Wendi a little bit and said, like, you're going to have to kind of make your peace with this. You're going to have to take some responsibility for this. You're linked to Dan Markel for life. Kind of challenged her a little bit. And she said, well, can I tell you something confidentially? And I said, sure. And she said, last summer...
I'm going to repeat the same objection or send the court's ruling.
Same ruling remains. The objection is overruled. You may continue with your answer.
She
Can
said,
I tell you something in confidence?
Yeah, can I tell you something? After I challenge her, can I tell you something in confidence? Sure. Well, last summer, my brother looked into all options possible to take care of the Danny Markel problem, including hiring a hitman, and it would cost about $15,000.
Okay, and when she referred to her brother, she's got two of those, right?
She said Charlie.
Okay. And when she said Charlie looked into hiring a hitman, are you familiar with Charlie's joke? I looked into hiring a hitman, but got you a TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper.
Yeah, Wendi had told me that joke a couple of times. This was not that joke.
Okay, so this was something different.
Yeah, the joke was said with levity. It's a dark joke, but well, this I found chilling. I found disturbing. It made my stomach flip. It kind of took me aback. It was, she was dead serious when she said this, and she'd asked to tell me in confidence, which you don't do before you tell a joke.
Okay. So
Yeah, so that context is definitely new. We every trial we know about when she seriously is like, "Hey, Charlie really looked into a hitman," but we had not heard before that Jeff is like, "Hey, like, are we doing something here? Is this a real thing? You keep bitching about moving. Like, should I even?" So that was new context that we had.
I want to take you to the next day then. So we're at July 14th, the Monday before the murder.
Yes.
Did you see Wendi Adelson on that date?
Yes, we had contact throughout the day trying to arrange some kind of date. It kind of ebbed and flowed. But she was real enthusiastic about seeing me at one point, and then like mid-afternoon, let's just meet at yoga is what was decided. So we went to yoga.
Okay, what happened after yoga?
Well, I was wondering why we were at yoga, because when he was being very strange, I felt like the relationship was over. She wasn't feeling well. I'm not a big yoga guy, so I didn't understand why we were at yoga for like 80 minutes, stretching. But then when we left yoga, we barely spoke, and I was just getting a vibe that this is over. Tried to talk about the relationship, didn't go very well. It was pretty clear to me. My internal thoughts were like, well, this is over. And she didn't want to spend time with me the rest of the week, so I just put my hands up like this. I remember this vividly, and just turned around and walked away.
All right, and I've said this before, probably ad nauseum. If you believe Jeff Lacasse and what he's about to say and what he's describing here, how could you not think Wendi was involved? How can you not think that she should be charged? Does anything you want to add, babe? I feel like you haven't spoken in a while. Anything you want to discuss, or just keep going?
No, I did. No, not right now.
And Dom's mom, thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate that, Dom's mom. You're the best.
Where were you when that was happening?
We're in the parking lot of Journey's Yoga over by Winn-Dixie.
Okay, so you have your two respective vehicles there, and
Yes.
you're parting ways.
Yes.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip, and she wanted to know what route I would be taking, and if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why at that moment she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday when she expressly didn't want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay, and we now know that Dan Markel was murdered on Friday.
Yes.
Right? If you had taken the trip as planned, which is as you reported to Wendi that day, what would your route have been?
I would have left my house at about 11 a.m., which Wendi knew. I'd related my plan to her earlier in the relationship. Needed to get to Atlanta for dinner and was worried about traffic and stuff like that. So I would have left at 11, and I would have driven down. I would have got to Capitol Circle in Thomasville, which is close enough to Danny's house that it kind of gave me the creeps. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the people who, this is evidence. This can be used against Wendi. Yes, Wendi has use immunity, derivative immunity. What she says can't be used against her. What Jeff Lacasse just said can be used against her. The fact that she is asked after they broke up is like, hey, when are you leaving? When are you? Which happens to coincide when the murderers killed him, and he would have been leaving with the same car that the murderers had. That is evidence against Wendi. That is evidence against Wendi. You think a jury's not? Go ahead, babe.
That is always this conversation to me. You cannot reconcile it with that she wasn't involved, but you also cannot reconcile to me that these people saying like Wendi is so smart. Wendi is just the same as most people with a criminal mind in that she believes that she is smarter than everyone else. And she isn't. The only thing that, you know, we haven't seen all the evidence against her, but we do probably speculate that she did not talk about it in written communication. She did not talk about the murder in written communication, but she talks about it to Jeff ad nauseum. She talks about it, you know, with her family. So this whole idea of like Wendi being some criminal mastermind always just annoys the shit out of me, because she isn't smart. She drove to the fucking crime scene the day of the crime and the cops saw her. The cops saw her and the cops know it was her because she has the same minivan as the cop's wife. And it isn't like it was a black minivan. No, it was like a plum color, eggplant color type Honda Odyssey that was the exact same year as the cop.
Yeah. And she like lies about it, like, oh, I just did the turn, but you look, and there's no way. She had to have driven down the street. It was way away from where the intersection was. I have a whole video on it, but she had to have driven down. And by the way, why do you think they're calling that cop who testified before why do you think they're calling the cop? And they've called him in each trial to confirm that Wendi drove by the crime scene. Because she knew. These new little, and we already had all this evidence, and now we have new evidence. And guess what? There is other evidence that we don't know about that they're not using. There's got to be. I fully believe there's WhatsApp evidence. Maybe not messages, maybe contacts. They were contacts. There is more stuff we do not know about, without a shadow of a doubt, against Wendi.
Physically, you're saying you might have been sort of consistent with how the killers fled town.
Yeah.
Okay. And after this yoga date and the discussion of your travel plans, did you get an email from Wendi?
I did.
I'm going to publish what's been introduced into evidence as states 64 GG.
I have seen this, and I think it is.
Is this the email she sent you after?
I have seen this, and I think perjury does, but like it's like impossible to prove, because Wendi, particularly with Wendi, she never makes it like a definitive. Like she could say, like it's from one of my understandings is it's pretty impossible to prove perjury, because she always is like, well, I can't remember, and I think like she never is like absolute, like, and that's why she's doing it. So while I do think that's true, I don't think there's ever gonna be like a perjury, hearing or some sort of, chart. Like, they're not going to get out of it that way. Her use immunity is her use immunity. They have to go around it.
For the yoga date?
Yes.
All right, so is she breaking up with you? Is that clear?
No, she's asking, well, I considered based on our interaction, I thought this is over. I had told Wendi if she wanted to break up with me, she doesn't like confrontation, just send me an email or text. She sends me this, which strings everything out for a week. So she's not breaking up. Functionally, that's realistically, I'm not dumb. I'm thinking we're over. But she's asking for another week, which brings it to the 21st of July. And I was puzzled. I wondered what in the world is going to happen July 21st. But I just didn't respond because she asked for no contact.
All right, so she wants to have no contact for a week.
Right.
Okay. All right, I was able to find that photo I was looking for earlier, 86A. I can show you that. You recognize 86A?
Yeah, that's Wendy's, Adelson's residence on Aqua Ridge, and that's what it looked like when we were dating.
Okay. Moving to evidence 86A.
Any objection? There you are. 86A is admitted at this time.
May I publish?
You may.
All right, so I blurred the boys' faces, but this is how the residents at Aqua Ridge
All right, here we go. This is massive. Massive, folks.
appeared.
Yes.
And the kids' art that's shown on the wall here, was that present during the time that you were dating Wendi Adelson?
Yes.
Was it something that like you know, art would come down and other art would go up, or was it pretty fixed?
It was, maybe some art would get added, but I never saw any come down until July 14th.
Right.
13th, sorry, July 13th.
July 13th, you noticed that the art had been taken down?
We walked into the kitchen, and then Wendi was pulling art off the wall. The only time I'd ever seen her do that.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm getting the comments. That's not a big, who people take their stuff. Did you not hear what he said? She had added stuff, never taken it down. Her child's artwork that she's displaying for everyone that comes in. Oh, look at these pictures. 5 days before Dan Markel was murdered, she starts taking stuff down. And I posted an interview yesterday with a woman who she dropped off her clothes literally the day before the murder. She is like, here are my kids' clothes that they outgrew. And then there's testimony that comes in. Oh, she had a calendar event to cancel her cable TV at her house before the murder. Why do you think they're introducing this, people? That does not have to do with Donna. She's taking her pictures down. She's planning to move. She's taking her pictures down because she ain't going to be living there anymore.
And I want to ask you about, I've nicknamed it the celebration dinner. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell the jury about that, please?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay on understanding the court's prior rule.
Objection is overruled.
Wendi and I reestablished phone contact about 10 days after the murder. She called me, and we had 3 or 4 phone calls. In one of them, she related that her and Charlie had gone to what Charlie called a celebration dinner, and at that dinner, Charlie said something to her. She didn't specify what it was, and she spontaneously vomited all over the table.
Are you aware, sir, that you were suggested as a potential suspect in
Yes.
this murder? Where
Poor
were
Jeff.
you when Dan Markel was murdered?
I was in Tennessee because I had left on my trip the night before.
So
rather
you
than
changed your plan.
I changed my plans at the last minute.
All right, and you provided law enforcement with some receipts and things to prove that you were in Tennessee at the time?
All that, and I got a flat tire, so I ended up getting videotaped at a Kmart. And I know the TPD used that to exclude me with the timestamp on the surveillance footage.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
I don't think we've ever. Someone told me that they think that, babe. Do we know what it is that made her throw up? Someone said that it was like that he found. They thought that it was that he found out that they like
At some point, did
saw the car or something. There was something that like revealed that they weren't out in the clear of the. But I've never gotten actual confirmation. And like I've heard different things, but we don't know, right? We don't know what was said. How could we? I guess, right? I mean, it's just. It would be between Charlie and her to know why. Other than it's a big thing for him to say it's a celebration dinner. That's why they're bringing it up. Why she threw up, I don't think we have any, unless someone in the chat knows differently. But how could we know other than a conversation between Charlie and Wendi?
you learn that the killers came to Tallahassee in June, not just in July?
Evan, wow, thank you so much, Evan.
Yes, when the arrests were made and the documents were released, I learned that, yes.
And did you put together some facts about your travel plans that day that could have potentially made you a suspect on that trip as well if the murder had happened as
Yeah,
planned?
that Friday, I was scheduled to go to a business trip in Gainesville, leaving at 11 a.m. So 2 times in 2014, I leave town on a trip by myself in my car, and both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel, once successfully, obviously.
Are you familiar with the type of vehicle that was originally rented by the killers in June to make that June trip?
I am.
Okay. And was that significant to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is long after this all happened. I'm learning this from court proceedings in 2016. But when I heard they rented a gray Altima initially, I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car on the rental market.
I'm going to show you what I marked as State's Demonstrative Exhibit G. You recognize this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is this the make and model of the, it's not the actual rental car, but the make and model of the rental car compared to the make and model of your vehicle?
Yeah, my car's right on top. That looks just like the car I had at the time.
Permission to publish G, Your Honor?
You may.
I have one more moment to confer, please. No further questions, Judge.
Wendi used a credit card. Uh-oh. Are we still? My thing just froze. My computer just froze. We're still live, right? Oh, all right. Wendi used a credit card that gave Donna a notification the hit was done. Have we ever? Is that a thing that we know, babe? Have you ever heard that?
I haven't heard that. I've heard that speculated about, that like that was the code, that she would get some sort of notification or something. But I mean, that was really very long before the text notifications would,
Right.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I would love to see everything that would come out at the trial.
At Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me just... Sorry, guys, my stuff froze there, but now it is back. Here we go.
Yes, Your Honor, just a moment. Lacasse, correct?
Jeff is.
Morning.
Good morning.
And it's Dr. Lacasse, correct?
Jeff is fine. Mr. Lacasse is fine.
You testified that it was your understanding that my client, Donna Adelson, was aware of the motion that the state has called the grandmother motion.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how she took that?
It was I'm hearing this stuff from Wendi.
Okay. Well, do you know how she took it?
I mean, I wasn't there to observe her reaction. The whole family was upset about every one of these motions, was my impression. Information coming from Wendi.
Okay. And so the only person that you spoke with about how the family took things was from Wendi.
Just real quick, I will say, because now I'm remembering, I will say I did a few lives where me and Katie Bogenschutz went over the divorce documents, and I will say that I remember, just because I was just looking at it, there is a line in the paperwork that that Wendi had a credit card linked to the Adelson Institute. So that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Putting Charlie's
aside from Charlie in the hot
tub, it was all through Wendi. That's correct, sir.
Isn't it true that you found Wendi? Let me find the exact quote. Didn't you find Wendi to be a deeply deceitful person?
Here is Donna's attorneys backing that bus up against Wendi.
Yes, depending on the topic. I mean, that's true. But a lot of the stuff she told me about her family was later released in evidence. I'm talking about the kids getting...
Your Honor, I'd move to strike that response.
Stay. Mr. Lacasse, you are only to respond to the question that you were asked. Members of the jury, the portions of the answer that were non-responsive you were not considered. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. You yourself do not have any personal knowledge as to how my client, Donna Adelson, took the grandmother motion, do you?
No.
Isn't it true that you only had limited small talk with my client, Donna Adelson?
That's correct.
Now let's talk about the damage to the television that you observed in June of 2014. Can you tell us again how you described that?
Yeah, there was a spider web pattern, like in the center of the screen, and it radiates outwards. Anywhere it's been cracked, it will pixelate. So you can see what's going on, you can track it, but it's not pleasant, and you would never watch that TV. And we watched a whole movie on that TV at Wendy's insistence, which was why I remember this. It was a very strange evening.
Didn't you suggest going to watch the movie on another TV?
Yes, I did. There was a perfectly good TV in the other room. That's correct.
And she made a fuss.
I mean, this questioning is interesting, right, babe? Because it's like the theory is the reason she made a fuss is she didn't want Jeff to go to the back room, which indicated that she was moving, like that they were packing. So Donna's attorneys are leading Jeff to kind of indicate, but he doesn't really. I'm not play the answer, but like it's just very interesting that this is where Donna's attorneys are going.
I tried to respect Wendy's boundaries, her house, her kids, so she didn't have to make a fuss. It's an awkward situation dating someone who has, 2 kids, so I'm not insisting on anything. But the kids were whining about the broken TV. That is correct, sir.
Made it difficult to even really watch or enjoy the movie.
That's right.
Could you tell us about how big that impact was?
This sized?
Adult or child?
I don't remember with that precision.
You testified about a statement that Wendi Adelson said to you on July 13th of 2014 that she wanted to say to you in confidence.
Yes.
And it was that her brother looked into hiring a hitman.
Her brother Charlie.
Her brother Charlie.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Your next witness. You may step down.
Another useless. Again, this is another cross where, to me, the only thing they're trying to do is implicate Wendi. And I don't know about you guys. I would not be shocked if the closing is from Donna is, I mean, we have to wait to see her testimony because I think she's going to testify. But like Wendi, Donna's not the one who was mad at Dan. Wendi was the one who was mad at Dan. Wendi wanted to move. Wendi wouldn't let them go into the other room. Like, just throw her straight on the bus because it like they're tiptoeing, right? Like, would you say, like, they're not like, but they're asking questions that are indicating that like it's Wendi who was the one. What do you think, babe? Am I off here?
No, I mean, what does she do? You know, she sort of has to, you know, I was just I guess, just like the selfless mother that, you know, my kids had gotten in trouble. You know, Charlie and Wendi did this, and I just signed the checks because Charlie told me to.
Right.
He told me that, you know, like they were going to kill us if we didn't.
And if you
I
guys,
don't know.
the last trial, and Rashbaum was questioned Wendi as if he was Rashbaum's, as Rashbaum questioned Wendi as if he was Wendy's lawyer. It was a much different tone. It was trying to like make her, both of them be like, you know, Charlie and even Donna, like this was just copacetic. Donna's attorneys are not doing that. And they had to have discussed this with Donna. Donna's attorneys are asking about Wendi. I just, it's crazy. Babe, do you have to like go do something? Because I was thinking I wanted to watch the Jailhouse Snitches. But if
No, I need to go downstairs for like 5 minutes, but no, I don't have dogs today.
well, I didn't know if you had something to do with Sloan.
Well, yeah, let me talk to her and see what's going on.
All right, I'll start it. You guys want to watch I really want to watch because tomorrow's
Snitches.
The Snitches, yeah. And after tomorrow, if I do any recaps, it's probably gonna be a Donna testifying because she could be testifying tomorrow, folks. Apparently, they have one expert, like experts, like digital experts, coming in tomorrow. Oh, actually, the state has to finish, right? Or no, the state rested. So
Yes. So the
they have digital experts are flying in or something. Well, how many other experts or witnesses could they have other than actually Donna testifying? All right, let me take you off the screen. And let's start with the because this was just
a couple months ago. Was it?
Oh god.
I took the Wendi this weekend because I had something that made her feel like.
But I'm cursed. It's like we're cursed. And my daughter, I have a son that doesn't even talk to me. I have another son that's going to jail for life, and then I have a daughter who won't even respond to my messages. I've lived a good life. Let me just let me just fall asleep. She won't even respond to my messages about the gun I want her to sell. Oh, we're cursed. Our family is cursed. We have the worst life. We planned a murder, and now there are consequences, and it's terrible for us. Fuck you, Donna, you stupid idiot.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. Taylor Brandon, if you can, adjust the microphone for her if she needs it.
Will you tell us your name and spell it for the court reporter, please?
By the way, I actually, real quick before we get to this, is the text message that she sends to Wendi on here, is that this day? Because I really kind of want to highlight that before we watch the Snitches. Where's the text? Hold on a second. I'm just going to pull it up because I really want to just, we don't have to watch a testimony about it, but I really want to talk about this text message. Just another, to me, shit, I posted it. All right, I want to talk about this text, which was out before, but I don't think it was presented like this. Donna is texting Wendi, your brother protected you for years. Now you are not guilty. Your lawyer took very good care of you. You can bury me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah. So we're ending with the Jewish mother guilt / grandmother. I have a Jewish grandmother. I know about the guilt. So we're ending with the guilt trip. You could just bury me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah. Just bury me in that because I'm going to kill myself. But like now you are not guilty. Donna is doing everything in this text message to not say, you know, you were a part of this and now we're going down. This text message to Wendi, because she's so mad that she's not talking to her, that she won't respond to anything, it's this close to being like, you know, you were a part of this and now we're going down for it and you can't even call me back. That's what this message is to me. You were a part of this shit. We did this for you. And now you can't even fucking call me back. I'm going to kill myself. Put me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah because I won't be there because I will be dead. Anywho, like that is so damning. I can't wait. If Donna does testify, I can't wait till Georgia asks her, like, what did you mean by this? What did you mean by this? All right.
Thank you.
P-A-T-R-I-C-I-A.
Will you tell us your name and spell it for the court reporter, please?
Patricia Bird.
Thank you.
P-A-T-R-I-C-I-A. Bird, B-Y-R-D.
And are you in custody at Leon County Jail?
Yes.
Are you in custody for violating your probation?
By the way, just real quick, you can see from the camera here how where Shannon is sitting, which used to be my daughter's room, my stepdaughter Shannon's door. See that picture? That is Riftwood. She's a big fan of Riftwood. They're a teenage band that is just a sensation. Riftwood. Should I keep that up, Sloan, or do you want that? What? Do you want the Riftwood poster, or can I keep it in my office for my streaming office? Riftwood. Look them up. Riftwood.
No, Riftwood.
Riftwood. That's what I said.
No, you're saying rift.
Oh, sorry, Riftwood. So do you?
Yeah, like guitar riff.
Or can I? She's gonna keep it. Okay, she's gonna keep it.
So tomorrow school starts here, so I'm gonna take Sloan to Target and get some last minute items because I have group therapy tonight for my clients, so I got to work tonight, so I gotta go.
All right, babe. Thank you for joining me. I love you.
I love you too. I love everyone. Good to see you all. Have fun watching the snitches.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, here we go.
On a felony case?
Yes.
And is it your understanding that for that felony case, if you were convicted as charged, that you could receive up to 15 years in prison for that felony?
Yes.
And is that felony that you're in custody for, is that the only felony that you've been convicted of?
Yes, I have a pending case.
Thank you. So do you also have another pending case?
Yes.
That you haven't been convicted of yet, but it is still pending?
Yes.
And that pending case, is that case in Wakulla County?
Yes.
For that case, if you're convicted as charged in that case, could you receive up to 5 years in prison for that case?
Yes.
Okay. And the one that you're in custody on from Leon County is the only felony you've been convicted of then?
Yes.
Have you received any offer or promises in exchange for your testimony in this case?
No.
Were you in custody with Donna Adelson?
Yes, I was.
For about...
By the way, I feel like there should be a statute that should be introduced. There should be some legislation that should be passed. Any inmate that has to be in close contact with Donna Adelson for a large portion of time should have their sentence reduced 10 to 20 years. I mean, obviously not the worst of the worst, but like if you like are in there for drugs or something, like just immediately sentence, you're out. You did your time. Like same with Charlie. Anyone who has to be
How long?
Maybe about 6 or 7 months.
And was this at Leon County Jail?
Yes.
Were you and Donna Adelson in the same pod?
Yes.
What does that mean?
We're in the same, it's a open pod, it's an open bay where a lot of bunk beds are together.
Okay, so a lot of women are in there together.
Yes.
Okay, so you sleep in the same room as some of these women.
Yes.
And how close did you sleep to Donna Adelson?
Right next to her.
All right, and if you're in the same pod, do you have your meals together with the other women in the
Sleeping right next to Grandma Gotti. Get her out. She's free. Let her off the stand, out to freedom.
pod?
Yes.
Do you have like your downtime where you're watching TV or reading or writing, all those things together with the same women in the pod?
Yes.
When you were in the same pod with Donna Adelson for those months, did you become friendly with her?
Yes.
How often would you talk to her?
Every day, all day.
Who else was she close to in the pod?
Dina Burnhart.
Okay. Did she have a couple of other people she was close to as well?
Yes.
Were you and Dina the closest?
Yes.
To her, I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Once you and Donna Adelson became close friends, did she ever talk to you about her pending case, this case?
She did.
When y'all would have those conversations, did you ever outright ask her whether she did what she's accused of?
I did.
And what did she say to that?
She said she did. It was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Okay. So she said.
By the way, maybe I'm just so against Donna and so into this that like I can't be objective, but I believe this lady, what she's saying. Like I believe that Donna would say that she's so dumb that she would tell someone in jail that yes, she did it, but it didn't mean it to go that far. That completely adds up to me.
She did do it, and she did it to keep her grandkids.
Yes.
But she didn't expect it to go this far.
Yes.
Did Donna Adelson ever ask if you were ever in custody with a woman named Catherine McBanois?
Yes, she did.
And were you ever in custody with Catherine McBanois?
Yes.
Was that several years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
And about how long were you in custody with McBanois for?
About a year or two.
Now, did you tell Donna Adelson that? Did you let her know that you had been in custody with McBanois?
Yes.
Since you had been in custody with McBanois, once Donna Adelson knew that, what did Donna Adelson want you to do?
She wanted me to say that McBanois told me when we killed him, I knew my boyfriend's parents had money.
Okay, so basically, she and some other people did this crime, and they did it because her boyfriend's parents had money.
Yes.
Who did she want you to tell that to?
She wanted me to tell it to whoever came up and asked me about it, and the investigators.
Okay. Did she offer you anything in exchange for you providing that information?
Yes.
What did she offer you?
A trailer and some land, and she would have her husband fix my teeth.
Okay. So, like, if you got out of custody, she'd
Also completely believe that.
help you buy a trailer and land?
Yes.
And that her husband could fix your teeth?
Yes.
Like veneers?
Yes.
Now, was any of that true as far as did McBanois ever say those things to you?
No, she did not.
Did Donna Adelson give you other gifts while in custody?
Yes.
Like what?
She would buy canteen and she would bring it over to my bed.
What's canteen?
Canteen is food that we buy off commissary.
Okay. It's kind of like chips and candy and other things that
and
you...
noodles and stuff like that.
Okay.
By the way, good for them. I said this in the last live. I would have done the same shit. Be like, oh, you want to testify for that? Get me the white cheddar Cheez-Its. I want the Ruffles with the cheddar and sour cream. You want me to do this shit? Get me the good stuff.
But it costs money to buy those things?
Yes.
Okay. But she would buy those or extra and she'd give it to you?
Yes.
Now, did you ever speak to her attorneys or investigators who came to the jail to see what information that you had?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember whether you spoke to a man or a woman?
It was a woman.
Did you tell them the information you told us today?
I did.
Did you tell them that that information that Magbanua said was true or not true?
It was not true.
Okay, but that Donna Adelson wanted you to say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hey, Katie, good to see you.
Who else did those people for the defense who came to see, who may have information, who else did they speak to?
They spoke to Lindsay Knight and Brittany Purcell and Cassidy Conroy.
Did they speak to Dina Burnhart?
Yes, they did.
Did you tell your attorney what was going on as far as Donna Adelson wanting you to provide this information that was not true?
I'm not sure if I told him.
I'm talking about your attorney.
My attorney?
Yeah. Did you tell your attorney at some point?
Yes.
Okay. Once you told your attorney that, did an investigator from the state attorney's office come speak to you to get more information about what happened?
They did.
And did you tell him everything that you told us today?
I did.
Just a second.
Gonna give out some gifts. Gonna give out some
Cross-examination.
Oh wait, how do I do this again? How do I do this? There we go. New members, grab your Capri Suns. For those who are new to the channel, we have Capri Suns as a welcome because when I found out that Alex Murdoch asked for orange Capri Suns as his drink of choice, that was when I knew he was a murderer.
You testified that you spoke.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon.
You testified that you spoke with a investigator, a woman. Was the woman white or black?
She was black.
Okay. Do you remember testifying in a hearing on this matter a couple weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that she was white?
Yes. I was confused.
You were confused by the question, or you were confused about the race of the investigator that you spoke with?
It was about the question.
Okay. And isn't it true that you also spoke with a male investigator last August?
Yes.
Okay. And that was about less than a month after you moved into the pod with Miss Adelson?
To the next pod with Miss Adelson.
No, we're talking in originally. That was about a month after you moved into the pod with Miss Adelson.
Yes.
Okay. And you spoke with that first investigator, the male?
Yes.
Okay. And it's your testimony that at that point in time, Miss Adelson had already offered you money, land, and a trailer.
Yes.
Okay. And you told that to that first investigator?
I did.
Okay. So on August, I believe it was August 30th of 2024, your testimony is that you told the first investigator, the man, about that offer?
I did.
Okay. Did you also tell him that the information that you were saying about Miss Magbanua was false?
I did.
All of it?
I did.
Okay. Isn't it true that you've also testified that in fact Miss Magbanua was manipulative?
I did.
Is that true?
It is.
By the way, I tweeted this, but I think it's hilarious. By the way, I'm Jay Bronius on everything, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. But it's hilarious that, you know, before the trial, we had to have these we had to have that hearing where Donna's like, I'm being bullied. They put their hand on my back. They stole my food. I can't. They're not following the inmate handbook. And then it turns out she's manipulating all of them, trying to give them the canteen. But she had to have a hearing about my tiny ear canals are not getting the support that they need.
And you testified that my client admitted doing it and that it was to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far.
Correct.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that the only thing that she did was write checks to Miss Magbanua?
I'm not sure.
Isn't that what she told you?
Not sure.
Welcome, Nikki.
Having you
Thank
previously said that Miss Adelson, my client, did not plan the murder.
Correct.
How many times did you meet with an investigator from the any of the defense attorneys in this case?
Could you repeat the question?
How many times have you met with an investigator from any of the defense attorneys' offices?
Twice.
Okay.
Once again, defense attorneys completely blubbering. Not their paperwork isn't together. They're never landing anything. Donna's like, I wish I had back my attorney who got Charlie convicted in 2 hours. I need him back.
Remember previously testifying that someone from the defense attorney's office came 4 or 5 times?
No, I did not.
How many times did a female investigator come to speak with you?
Once.
Do you remember testifying previously that you said a female investigator came twice?
If I said that, then that's what it was.
Can I get a page of mine for
I don't have it.
Please show the witness the prior statement or testimony so she can explain, deny, or admit.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Take care, Dom's mom. Hi, Shar. I mean, how bad is this defense? My Lanta. Hold on, let me get my octopus laptop from my paralegal. Pay no attention to the weird octopus on my assistant's laptop.
First or second interview with Investigator Newland and Pat Sanford at the Leon County Detention Center, page 20. And we'll start with the female investigator, lines 16 through 18. May I approach the witness?
You may.
Can you just read that to yourself, please? Say something differently when Did you say something differently when you first met with the representative of the state attorney's office?
I did.
Okay. So, when you first met with the state attorney's office representatives and Special Agent Sanford, when asked how many times the defense investigators come to see you, you said 4 or 5, correct?
Correct.
And then how many times did the female investigator come to speak to you? You said twice.
Correct.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Incarcerated with my client for testified that you were incarcerated with my client for 6 to 7 months. How much of that time were you actually sleeping in the bed next to her?
Somewhere in between 3 to maybe 4 months.
The jail records reflect something differently. Would they be more accurate?
Could be.
Could be more accurate, or they
Yeah.
are?
They are, because we were.
Thank you. Nothing further.
What a douche.
Redirect examination.
Nothing further that's going to make my client look.
We were in 2 different pods together.
Okay. So did you sleep together, or I'm sorry, sleep in the same pod as her, sleep next to her in one pod and sleep further from her in another pod? What do you mean?
I slept next to her in one pod, and then we slept in the same section in another part of the jail.
Okay. So when you're sleeping in the same section from someone, are you still in the same room with them?
Yes.
Okay. Despite whether you were sleeping next to her or a few beds over from her, did you guys still have downtime each day in the pod together?
Yes.
Okay. And did you talk most of the day, every day, for several months at a time?
On a regular basis.
All right. Regardless of how many times the defense sent investigators to talk to you, you did speak to them multiple times.
Yes.
And you also spoke to state attorney's office investigators, is that right?
Yes.
And your own attorney?
Yes.
And you've testified at a prior proceeding as well?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ask Donna Adelson whether she wrote checks to Catherine McBanois, or did you ask her whether she did what they're accused her of doing?
I asked her if she did what they accused her of.
Okay. And she said yes?
And she said yes.
Thank you.
You may step down. Will this witness be recalled by either party?
No, sir, she can be released. Thank you.
Defense.
Potentially, Your Honor.
All right.
Essentially for
Slurry may
what?
be called again by the defense. Please call your next witness.
State calls Dina Burnhart.
All right, she's still under subpoena. You can't talk to any of your inmates about the grandmother who said she was going to get you. I mean, Donna's got to be is Donna the oldest person in the jail? She's got to be close.
Please raise your right hand, Ms. Burnhart. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone if you need.
You guys want to know who? If you're new to the channel, I tend to try to pick out doppelgangers, and to me, what this lady looks like. I mean, she's younger. Well, come on, that's Frau. That's Frau. All right.
Me too.
Yeah, please say your name and spell your name.
Dina Burnhart, DrinaBernhardt.
Ms. Bernhardt, are you currently incarcerated in the Leon County Jail?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you currently on 2 different felony cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the first case I want to ask you about is the VOP, or violation of probation case. Is that one of your open cases?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then also a third-degree felony is also pending, punishable by up to an additional 5 years. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
right? Okay. And are both of those cases totally unrelated to the murder case that we're here about in this courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I want to ask if you've been promised anything by myself or any member of my team in exchange for your testimony here today.
No, ma'am.
So any leniency or any help with your case, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Has anyone promised you anything?
No.
Is this your first stint in the Leon County Jail?
No, it's not.
Have you been in and out of jail quite a few times?
I have.
Okay. Do you have 27 prior convictions involving either felonies or crimes of dishonesty?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you recently incarcerated?
27 other convictions and numerous time in jail, and yet Donna Adelson is the dumbest inmate she has met yet.
In the Leon County Jail with Donna Adelson?
Yes, I was.
And did you become friendly with her during the time that y'all were both in the jail together?
Yes.
How long were you together in the jail?
I can't remember exactly, maybe around 4 months.
All right, were you in the same pod that whole 4 months?
Yes.
And when you're in the pod together in jail, is it easier to become friendly than it is on the outside?
Yes.
Why is that?
We're together 24/7, so.
All right, can you describe your friendship with Mrs. Adelson?
Yes, initially it was very nice. She actually called me her jail daughter, and she and I
Jail daughter.
I got close. And how much more detail do you want?
Well, by close, did you talk to each other about personal things, like your
Yes.
life?
Yes.
Okay. And did she have a nickname for you besides her jail daughter?
Yes, Sunshine.
Did she paint pictures for you and write notes to you and things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
And approach and show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 61.
Just real quick, first of all, if you're new to the case, you may know that she called her grandkids her sunshines, but who else did she call her sunshine? You are the sunshine of my lives, Wendi. All our love, Mom, Dad, and Charlie. Notice Rob not on there. So Donna calls her grandkids and her daughter and her jail daughter her sunshine.
Is this one of the pieces of art and letters that she wrote to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge asked to move into evidence, State 61.
No objection.
There you are.
State 61 is
This comment, the Adelsons were the masters at using lesser people. They believed everyone has a price. Agree. They also thought that Dan would have a price. They thought he was going to move for $1 million. They killed him because he was smarter than them, and he wouldn't give in to them, and they didn't know what to do. And he was coming for them. He was coming for Wendi with the evidence that she withheld money that he should have got back. And also he was coming for Donna, that she was a shitty grandmother talking shit about him. And that's why they did this, in my opinion.
Permission to publish.
You may.
So is this her initials down here?
Yes, ma'am.
And on the back, is that a little note to you?
Yes, it is.
Dear Dina, I hope your life will be filled with love, joy, and flowers. You deserve only the best because you are the best. Love, Donna. Is that what you wrote?
Yes.
And did you return this type of favor and make little art and things for her as well?
Probably, yes.
Did she ever talk to you about her grandchildren?
Yes, she did.
And did she tell you anything about the type of relationship that she had specifically with the children of the deceased in this case?
Yes, she said she was very close with them, and every now and then she would call them her children.
Okay, and I want to ask you about whether Mrs. Adelson, during the time that y'all were friendly, ever discussed her case with you.
Yes.
Okay, and was her bringing up her case something that she did a lot, or was it only one time?
It was often.
Okay, so it was something that she was
Doing
talking
a lot.
about daily.
Yes.
Okay, and was it a bunch of different aspects of her case she would talk about, or only one thing?
It was different aspects.
At some point, did you end up reaching out to law enforcement to report some of the things that she had been saying to you about her case?
Yes, I did.
And why did you do that?
Well, initially I did it for selfish reasons, but more that I spent time with Donna, I realized that it was morally correct and I wanted to get justice for the Markel family.
The more I spent time with this old crazy hag, I realized that she was fucking insane.
Okay, so you felt it was the right thing to do, but you were also hoping to get something out of it.
Yes.
And what kind of thing were you hoping to get out of it?
Just help, lighter sentence, maybe rehab.
Okay, and are you still hoping that might be the outcome for you?
Maybe, but right now I'm more interested in justice for the Markel family.
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you when she was talking about her case? Did she ever mention any concerns about the testimony of her son, Rob Adelson?
She did. She said she was extremely worried about his testimony.
Okay, so that...
Like that completely, I completely believe that. I completely believe that.
That was something that she brought up often?
Like, do people think that she just made that up? Like, how would she even know?
Only one time.
A few times.
Okay. Did she ever mention to you a state witness by the name of Catherine Magbanoa?
Yes.
And was Ms. Magbanoa somebody that was known to you?
Yes, I knew Miss Magbanoa from being locked up with her years before.
And how did she first bring up Magbanoa to you, or did you bring Magbanoa up to her?
I can't remember exactly how it was brought up. I just know that it was brought to her attention.
Brought to her attention that you knew Magbanoa?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, did the defendant try to recruit you to become a witness for her in this case?
Yes.
How did she first approach you about that?
She asked me if I would be willing to do it, and I said yes.
Okay. And was this topic discussed one time or more than one time?
More than once.
How many times can you estimate? A lot?
A lot, yes.
Okay. And what is it that she wanted you to testify?
Also, Donna not shutting the fuck up about her trial, and to both of these people, completely adds up to me.
She wanted me to testify about numerous different things about Kay, mostly about Miss Magbanoa.
And Miss Magbanoa, you knew her by the nickname Kay?
Yes.
Okay. And so she had some things she wanted you to say about Kay.
Correct.
At some point, did she prepare a script for you of exactly what she wanted you to testify to?
She did.
I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 62.
A fucking script. I mean, she is the dumbest idiot to ever live. She wrote her a script. Like, can you imagine each time the prosecution gets more evidence about Donna, like, this is the dumbest dummy to ever... She wrote her a script.
It was prepared for you by Ms. Adelson?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Moving evidence, State 62.
An objection.
Objection.
State 62 is admitted.
And publish.
You may.
Whose notebook is this?
That's mine.
Okay. And whose handwriting is this on this first page?
That's Donna's, Miss Anderson.
Okay, so she wrote this in your notebook?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it you were supposed to do with this information?
I was supposed to study it and answer it correctly on the stand for her.
So this is what she wanted you to say in court?
Yes, ma'am.
So, for example, how did you know Donna Adelson? You were supposed to say everyone knew her. She's been on the news. I've seen and heard about this on TV shows and read it in the newspaper over the years.
Correct.
Do you read the newspaper?
No.
Okay. Did you know much about her or her case prior to coming in contact with her in the Leon County Jail?
No, ma'am.
And what were you supposed to do with this physical script?
I was supposed to copy it down and give it back to her.
Okay, copy it into your own handwriting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this Did you provide this item to my office?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it copied and returned to you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with it once you returned with the original to the Leon County Jail?
Return it to her.
I'm gonna go down a paragraph here.
Kind of interesting that Donna's writing a script for her jail daughter, who she also is going to need to put on the performance of her life. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the drama. Donna is writing a script for someone to act out after she got acting tips for Wendi, and now for her jail daughter. I'm surprised the script doesn't say like
you approached.
It doesn't have like prompts like you approach the stand. The lighting is the courtroom lights are on your face.
Mrs. Adelson and told her you had information about Kay that you wanted to give her. Is that true?
No.
This says that Kay told you that she told Charlie on the night of the murder that some friends of hers went to Tallahassee and killed him. Did Kay ever tell you that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. She asked him to give her the 1/3 of $1 million that he was going to pay his sister so that she could relocate with her children to Miami. He went crazy on her. He said that he was going, that was going to be an offer to his brother-in-law not to kill him. Did Kay ever say any of that to you?
No, ma'am.
And then over here continues, but she convinced him that the murderers think a woman is paying for this. They don't know Charlie. She told him she wouldn't tell her friends who he is. She can keep him safe. So she was, according to this story, extorting money out of Charlie, but he didn't know it. He thought she was his friend, but really she was his enemy. Is that the deal?
Yes, I suppose that's what it's supposed to be.
All right, and did Kay, Catherine McBanoa, ever say any of that to you?
No.
Do you know, are you familiar at all with Charlie Adelson's trial or his trial testimony?
No,
I love it for this moron that she has to now sit in front of a jury like the dumbest idiot that she is.
There's a part on here that says, here, she laughed about how easy it was to extort, and extort is underlined. Did you underline that, or did Mrs. Adelson underline that?
I didn't underline it.
Okay. How easy it was to extort him for the money. He wouldn't have to take her out to a fancy dinner. She could buy plenty of fancy dinners with the 1/3 of $1 million. She said she fooled her baby daddy and she fooled Charlie. Sigfredo would do anything for her, and he did. All right, so again, sorry to keep asking the same question, but did Kay say any of this to you? Okay. Charlie was scared and easy to extort. What a stupid fool. He believed her that she was keeping him safe from the killers. Ha ha, what a joke. Is that the type of language that Catherine McBanoa would use?
No.
Do you know her well enough to tell this jury that she wouldn't
That doesn't sound like Katie.
say something like, you know, what a stupid fool, ha ha, what a joke?
Oh, I love how Georgia's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Do you think Katie is saying that? Ha ha, what a fool.
Yeah, she wouldn't talk like that.
But that's what Mrs. Adelson wanted you to come in and tell this jury.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she give you anything or promise you anything in exchange for?
And then she said, Jiminy Crickets, I can't believe this would happen.
Reciting this script?
While I was in jail, I received packages and phone calls, and I was promised things as well.
What type of packages?
Packages are in jail just like a bunch of basically gas station food, but it's exciting when you're in jail.
Okay, and what about phone calls? What do you mean by that?
Just the phone calls are very expensive from jail, so she would let me use her phone to call my mother and other people.
Okay, and you said she promised you other things in the future. What other types of things?
$10,000, a grand piano.
Grand piano. A fucking grand piano. It just gets better and better.
What else?
She promised me cameras, but
none of that came to fruition.
No.
Okay. And what about pills? Did she mention anything to you about pills?
Yes, that if I needed pills, that I could call a doctor named, I think, Obed. I think that's his name.
Like, where is she getting that from? You think she got that? Dr. Obed is not someone everyone who's covering this trial knows about. Like, she got that from Donna. She just make that up. Come on.
Okay.
Yes.
And that person would write you some prescriptions?
Yes, ma'am.
And why would you be in need of prescription medication?
I'm a recovering drug addict.
Did she tell you that if you were to be released that you could make these phone calls, including this phone call to Dr. Obed?
Yes.
Okay, and how were you going to get these other items, like the $10,000?
The money would be through something called Zelle.
Okay.
Like, she doesn't even know what Zelle is, but she knows who Dr. Obed is, and she, like...
All right, and who was going to send the money through Zelle?
Harvey.
That's her husband, Harvey Adelson?
Yes.
And how are you supposed to contact Harvey Adelson?
By the way, guys, I do understand that it's terrible for Donna to offer a drug addict drugs, but let's not forget she also planned a murder. Like, there is nothing so low that she will not do. She is the biggest piece of shit around. One of the biggest pieces of shit. It did not surprise me in the least. If she could give her enough if she knew that she was giving her enough, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she asked to Dr. Obed, give her enough that she, when she's out and her job is done, it kills her. Like, Donna is a fucking piece of shit.
Through a phone app called Signal.
Okay, had you ever heard of the phone app Signal before?
No, ma'am.
Okay, one moment, please, Your Honor. No further questions at this time, Judge.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, Harv. I love how the director's like, put it on Harv, who was going to Zelle them money.
So before you cross, please approach.
Now, the one thing that I found kind of interesting is, and I didn't play it, and I should have played it, but before these women testified from the jail, Judge Everett does not a proffer, I don't know he asked Donna, he's like, Donna, I want to make sure you're okay with how the defense is handling this, and she's like, yes, I agree with their defense. But really, there was no defense. Like, I didn't understand why they had nothing. Like, that was curious to me why he had to ask her to give the okay how they handled this. That was I didn't get that.
Now, you testified that you haven't been promised anything, correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that you were released from jail on February 11th,
yes,
2025 as a result of your cooperation in this matter?
I don't know if it was a result of my cooperation, but yes, that's when I was released.
Okay. And so you met with law enforcement. In fact, you sent a letter to a Detective Turner in December of 2024, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said that you had information about Donna Adelson, correct?
Correct.
And that you cooperated in the past and you wanted to do it again.
Correct.
And then as a result of that, on December 18th, Detective Turner came and met with you.
Correct.
And you spoke with him about this matter.
Yes, sir.
And then on December 20th, you were taken up to the state attorney's office to meet with the state attorney's office, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then as a result of that conversation, on February 11th, you were released.
Danielle. Maybe that's it. Danielle says, I think it's because they didn't dispute that she wrote the script, which is correct. They had this whole handwriting expert, and then the defense is like, we are not disputing that she wrote that. So that could be it. That could be it. Good call, Danielle. Maybe that's it.
Released.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Okay. Now, I want to back up a little bit. You've met prior to being rearrested in September of 2024. You knew Patricia Berg, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Were you guys friends on the outside?
No.
Just on the inside?
Yes, sir.
But you've been friendly before?
Friendly, I suppose, for jail.
Now, when you first met with law enforcement or the state attorney's office on December 20th of 2024, towards the end of that conversation, you said to them, did I do a good job? Isn't that true?
Yes, it is.
Now, when you met with them on that day, the offer that you'd had at that point was 5 to 6 years in prison, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want to back up a little bit. Let's see. That violation of probation.
I understand that's why judges ask, about ineffective counsel, but, it hasn't been she didn't ask at the beginning. It was just confusing for me for this specific instance why he asked that. Like in Sarah Boone, dude asked like every day.
You were originally put on that probation September 1st of 2023, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And at that point in time, isn't it true that you qualified for enhanced sentencing?
If you're talking about the PRR, is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure.
Did you qualify as a PRR sentence?
I think it was actually past the 3 years.
Okay. I'm going to approach, and I'll have this marked for identification purposes.
Genevieve Screaming says, Judge Everett had to make clear for the record that she was okay with the defense because her defense is going to admit to some of her illegal activity, which I guess would go to the script if that's the case.
That was rendered. Judgment is sentence that was rendered on September 1st of 2023. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And it indicates that you qualify for PRR sentencing, but the state is waiving it at that time, correct?
Okay. Yes, it does say that.
Okay. And so this is a judgment and sentence or conviction for one count of burglary of an occupied dwelling and one count of burglary of a dwelling, 2 counts of burglary of a conveyance. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And PRR sentencing means that when you commit a qualifying offense within 3 years of your release from prison, the court has to sentence you to the maximum sentence day for day unless you have a plea agreement that says otherwise, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that would mean that this sentence, the court would have to sentence you to 15 years day for day in prison, correct?
If I went to trial, yes, sir.
If you didn't have this plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
But you did have this plea agreement,
Yes.
and you were put on probation.
Yes, sir.
Now, it specifically says if you violate probation, they can reimpose the prison releasee reoffender sentence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you did violate that probation, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. And on June 18th of 2024, probation officer signed an affidavit of violation because you started using again, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were rearrested. You didn't go back to prison, did you?
No.
You got a chance for more treatment, didn't you?
I did.
Now, originally in that 2023 sentence, you did an inpatient program.
Yes, at Sisters in Sobriety.
And you completed that.
I did.
Okay. Here, when you were reinstated in July of 2024, you were stepped down to outpatient, correct?
Yes, sir.
You didn't report to probation, did you?
No.
Okay. You started using again.
I did.
And you strung your probation officer along, lying to them.
I don't think I did that, but
You did not make yourself available for supervision?
no, I didn't.
You didn't follow instructions?
I just didn't go.
Keep listening to things, douche. I still believe her.
And you also didn't test?
I didn't go. Correct.
And so then you are rearrested, not just for the violation of probation, but also for a new felony charge, correct?
What's the new felony charge?
Burglary of a conveyance?
Okay. Yes, correct.
And so in September of 2024, when you were rearrested for violating probation and the new burglary charge, that point in time, you are facing 15 years mandatory day-for-day sentencing, unless you can reach an agreement with the state.
Correct.
And then you meet Donna Adelson.
Correct.
Your get-out-of-jail-free card.
I don't have an answer to that.
And you befriended her.
We became friends, yes.
And you would ask her questions about her case.
No, I didn't ask her questions about her case. She offered it to me and I would listen to her.
Okay. So it's your testimony here today that you did not ask her questions.
I can't remember. I may have asked her one or two. I mean, we were locked up for a long time, but I didn't go to her constantly and asking her questions, no.
Just a moment.
Sufficiently clear.
Before you ask your next question, Mr. Zahn,
Please make sure it's sufficiently clear as it relates to matters that have been ruled upon.
Yes, sir, and that's exactly what I'm having ensure done. Okay. So, if you didn't reach an agreement with the state, the court would have to sentence you to 15 years, day for day.
If I went to trial and was found guilty, yes.
So that your understanding is if you went to trial, you would face 15 years day for day.
If I was found guilty, yes.
Okay. So we're talking about a violation of probation. You go to a VOP hearing. You've already testified that you started using again.
Yes.
You didn't show up for probation.
Correct.
Okay. So if you went to court without an agreement, you would have to be sentenced to 15 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, isn't it true that when you went to meet with law enforcement on December 20th of 2024, you made sure a couple days prior to this to sit down in a location in the pod and engage in a lengthy conversation with Donna Adelson, correct?
Oh, no, actually the pod, you can see, the whole pod is visible.
Isn't it true that you told them that you made sure that you sat where a camera could catch you while you sat with my client going over paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. And you wanted them to make sure that they could get video of you with my client?
Yes.
Okay. Just a moment, Your Honor.
Here you go, Ann. Usually reserved for a sidebar, but we're fast forwarding to them. Tell Nash we're thinking about him. That he's the man.
Did you tell my client she was naive about jail?
That she was naive about jail?
And he's got this.
Meaning that she just wasn't aware of what went on in jail?
Yes.
I may have. I don't remember.
Now let's talk about that video. I believe the state's going to be introducing that a little bit later. Now, describe for the jury how it came to be that my client wrote down the script that they've introduced into evidence.
How it came to be?
Yes.
Donna wrote it, and she and I were supposed to go over it and practice it.
Okay. During that time that you were sitting there, did you write anything down?
I may have colored or written something, but I honestly don't remember.
Did you take things out of the notebook that you'd already written and show them to her?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't remember. It's been a while.
So you don't remember telling her what to write?
No, I didn't tell her what to write.
Your testimony here today is that you never told her what to write?
Yes.
Okay. That's the one thing you are sure about here today. Just a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further?
Redirect examination.
Were you ever advised to say anything other than the truth here today?
No.
Hey, Nash.
You have a lawyer that's representing you on your criminal cases, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he's working with the prosecutor on that case, not me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
To try to get you some kind of deal, not 15 years maximum penalty, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and before your most recent release, you had a five-year plea offer at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and as we sit here today, do you have a plea offer?
No.
Okay, so you're waiting to get a new plea offer.
Yes, ma'am.
From somebody, not me.
Correct.
Hoping that maybe it will be better than what it would otherwise be based on this information.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you had already provided that script to us before this most recent release and this most recent violation, and now you're going to have to deal with accountability for that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that script, it was suggested like, oh, you told her what to write. Did you even know any of that story
No.
to tell her?
No, ma'am.
No further questions.
You may step down.
All right, fam. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, mods. Just got a coffee from Christina H. Thank you for all you're doing covering this trial. Excellent job. You always keep me laughing. Thank you so much. Ayana, $20 Venmo. Without you and Babe, your fans will be driving into the sea. This trial is not the same. You have no idea. Fangirls. Thank you, Ayana. Carolyn M. Great to see you and Shannon streaming live. All the best from Lakeside Lawyer. Thank you, Carolyn. Melissa D. I thank for Labor Day Live. Thanks for coming back. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate all your support. I will likely be live tomorrow evening to do a recap. Can't do it live because I'm working. Chloe and Sally, thank you for $20 PayPal. Thank you so much for bringing the JBN gang back together. We love you both. Love you. Love from Chloe and Sally. Love you guys. Elizabeth, I will. Viv, I will everyone. You guys are awesome, and your support is so very much appreciated. Definitely will be back covering some recaps. Who knows? Maybe Donna tomorrow. Thank you all so much. Have a good Monday, and I'll see you guys at some point tomorrow. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.